towards this route. To rise for honor here in KIC 2025, we've seen teams stumble when they don't go into the best of 7 with the correct footing here. What does that mean? If you fail the game 1 and that psychological effect gets into your brain, that really damages you when you play a long series like a BO7.
Yeah, and I mean, checking out how the brackets and the two teams, the journey that they had to take to even get to this point. I mean, they met in the winter bracket finals. HBSE kind of came out on top with 4-1, knocking down Nova into the lower brackets.
And this was the storyline, right, which Gene has talked about here, where HBSE Nova, the long rivalry here, this has come across the entire year. MKL Spring, 4-3 in favor of Nova, but when summer hit, that's when Homeboys Black Shoe Esports, their gear started kicking in. Every single series thus far, it was
HBSE, let's go!
It's about 8-1 in favor of HBSE.
Right, you've seen the two different stories here in KIC 2025. Some teams have managed to break the curse. They have broken some of the deadlocks they have been facing in this year of 2025. Right now, this deadlock is for Nova, right? They have lost to HBSE twice in very convincing fashion. This is the only time this one matters. You have to rise for honor.
Yeah, and of course, going to be more important, dare I say, for the ex-champions of KC 2024, it's going to be Black Shoe Esports. Now they've kind of retooled, and they've come back as Homeboys ex-Black Shoe Esports. But Nova Esports has been the team of 2025.
The storyline for them is very similar here. Like you mentioned, HBSE 2024 was their year, but the starting of 2025 very rocky here. Their opponents, Nova Esports, however, their storyline has been phenomenal in the first few parts of the 2025. Really similar in terms of how they had in their own miracle years.
Okay, very similar, but there are some differences we have to take a look at, and that's the kill participation. At this point, HBSE, they've been managing to find more value across the map without taking too many kills. And that means they're fighting at the correct times. They're not taking unnecessary fights. They're playing the map much better. And this is a problem that Nova needs to fix.
Yeah, definitely need to fix here. I mean, if we're talking about kill participation, they have the edge with 74%. But for me, Homeboys Black Shoe Esports, 6-7 will always come away with it, no?
It's like a daily cap of a 6-7 thing that he needs to do. And today, 1 out of 1 has been accomplished here. But
final,
this final. Is the dawn of the Clash lane here. He has been the solid shield vanguard of the side of Nova Esports. He's the veteran team. And on the opposite side, Guiyu, a new star approaching towards the scene itself, already getting what? Back-to-back as MVPs?
It's so weird because he has the titles, but Guiyu also has been gapped in the Clash lane in this KIC 2025, right? But the biggest difference is Guiyu is actually doing that to Xuan. So right now, it's a lesson learned. How many times do you need to go through this curriculum, right? How many school schedules do you need to wake up every day and remind yourself, I can't lose to Guiyu again? Or in the sense of Xuan, I want to try and get better.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the big thing, right? Where Xuan, when they were winning Nova Esports and they were dominating teams, it was off of the back of Xuan. But it seems like HBSE have been able to solve that out. Guiyu has been an amazing pickup for this team.
And to talk about these two players into a more in-depth role, yes, Xuan has been the playmaker, the person who always goes for those clutch plays. But when Guiyu is able to consistently shut him down, the whole of Nova just starts to get crumble in a sense.
And it looks like, I mean, the teams have picked. Nova Esports wants to go with blue. They're going to go with priority to start off game 1, which I think is key. Because it seems like every single series, game 1, they kind of falter, and they always tend to play from behind, which is a losing strategy.
But, I mean, it also depends on which lane they're going to prio, right? Now we've seen a lot of teams, they're going to pick that prio, jungle, they want the pay, the Tigers, fast-paced gaming. Or we could also take a look at the Clash being prio, right? So far, these are the two main roles that have been the real focus for the teams coming in for game number 1. Because you want to get that momentum going. You want to take your best picks. The most open hero is in game 1 because of the global ban pick.
But with reference towards yesterday's series for the side of Nova Esports against HBSE, every time that HBSE got the red side, whatever the side of Nova tried to throw at them, the prior picks, the fancy picks, the high meta picks, it all got systematically destroyed and debunked by the side of HBSE.
Yeah, they did a great job of counter picking, and more props to the drafting there, because you're getting an edge, and it was always about how Nova were trying to do something, but HBSE had all of the counters.
And without further ado, to check on counters, check on priority here, what better way of actually going into our grand finals BO7 here, featuring Nova Esports taking on the blue side and Homeboys Black Shoe Esports on the reactive red.
Yep, I'm so curious about what this first ban will be. It looks like the Rome Dolia. is going to be the prior ban, which cancels out quite a few combinations as well. The Nerta, right, the Wild Spark is not going to be available. We will not see the Yangjin. It's too risky at this point. We are looking at the highest level of HOK. Even the most minute of mistakes cost you the game.
Yeah, it could definitely cost you the game and the series going in.
Oh, there you go.
It's always having that slight edge, but it looks like there's a lot of respect on both sides. Nova Esports with that Athena ban. On the other side, HBSC, you know that CY likes the Luna as well.
You definitely do not want to give over to these clutch picks, right? Like the Athena Sacred Warrior, one of Ze's signature here. And if you do give Nova Esports that early Parasola, Muchi will definitely take it here. So it really comes down to whether they actually go for the early Diadea and Augur setup. This is something that they really favor in Game 1 setting itself.
You can cancel that out with the anti-healing possibility, and here's the first counter, right? If you can't get out of the sticky situation, you're going to take a bad team fight, and this is where the Dharma comes in. Martial Monk for Gui, and we have the all-strong Tigerist Pei coming in for Musang King. This is a very quick pace.
I mean, look, Dharma has a 60% win rate, Pei has a 64% win rate, and they're both top 10 in terms of most picked at the KIC. This is a very powerful combination by HBSC early.
And you can really tell with how aggressive both teams are drafting in Game 1 itself, they really want to land on the correct foot going into the full BO7 here. With Nova Esports locking the try and true early Augur Diadea, this is the combo that always led them the first game victory, but this time it's against Homeboys.
Yes, and this story has been said before, right? HBSC just completely destroyed a very brilliant lineup on the side of Nova. I'm curious to see if they're going to be able to do it today, because HBSE, I think they have found a formula. If you can beat Nova in game number 1, all that confidence, all that strength starts to go down.
Yeah, and also because the fact that Nova Esports, they like these three heroes. They're comfortable. They're very comfortable on them.
And
if they were to lose that game 1, again, very demoralizing.
Especially you have to think from Nova's perspective here. Every time that they have faced off against Homeboys Black Shrew Esports, they are like what? 1-8 with the recent series score itself. So putting them in towards that perspective, one loss will really put them into a spiraling effect, and a negative one.
Nobody wants to be there, right? I think that that's going to be the biggest thing to see. You know, Nova's been tested time and time again. They got swept in the MKA finals. They got one forward in the upper bracket finals here in the KIC. They do not want to be behind.
But now, let's talk about draft here. HBSC, they are a very specifically counter towards the draft of Nova, especially on towards Muchi on that Parasola here. You have the Xiao Qiao and also the Martial Monk Dharma here. Both of these heroes are A-level counters against the Arlie.
I'm not sure whether this is a situation where the Lapu Lapu ban was the greatest choice, because HBSE now have access to the Zhang Fei as well. And with this combination, they could spoil Nova's strengths right away.
But also, they know that HBSC likes to play the Yixing Zhang Fei combination, which is incredibly powerful. And now if they take the Zhang Fei, sure, but you don't have that power wombo combo later.
That's true. I mean, so Nova, they don't even want to consider the difficulty of this situation. They will take it away immediately. So the DRNG is still going to be picked up by the side of Homeboys, Black Shrew Esports. What is this roam that's going to come through? Does it need to be a tank? I feel so.
Yeah, I feel so too. Potentially look into the things like a Lian Po or another sort of a tank roamer here, or even going to the extent of picking another engaged roamer like a Gui Guzi. All these are potential cases here that you can look forward to. But Nova Esports here, a lot of resource-heavy heroes here for all these teams here. And we can see Frozen Wish Gacha here in the audience.
Not going to be too lucky at this point, looking for more. And that's exactly what HBSE are looking for as well. This final pick needs to be a tank, or they can double down on the dive potential on the side of Homeboys Black Shrew Esports.
Potentially can go for the Sakir or the likes of a Liang here, so you really are banking on that super duper strong early game coming in for strong Homeboys Black Shrew Esports, and then make sure that this Nuwa, this early doesn't get that comfortable mid-late game situation that they are looking for here. If Ze on this Liang is capable of making those big plays in the first 4 minutes, this is going to be so smooth for Homeboys.
He needs both Zhihong as well as Gui to be on point, right? So once you get this Liang ultimate down, you need protection. You need to make sure the stuns are there, finish the job before any countermeasures come in. Because in fact, everyone on the side of Nova can stop the Liang ultimate. It just depends on the timing.
Yeah, it's all about timing on this one. HBSC, they're going to start very fast. They have the Pei. The Liang with that level 4 is going to be starting to make some serious ganks. But if Nova Esports are able to withstand that, weather the storm, they will be fine come mid to late game.
For now, drafts has been locked in here in game number 1 here. For the side of Nova Esports, it is a very mid to late game heavy draft, but the iron there, the iron blessing that they get is the fact that the Ogryn Diadea, this combinations early game is very consistent here. If they can stall the game time into a comfortable 8 to 10 minutes, potentially we might see more of Nova Esports capitalizing on the map itself. On towards the flip end though, Homeboys Black Shrew Esports, their draft is really situational here. If Ze and also Musang King on the Tollmaster and also the Tigers is unable to get the ball rolling, this is only a waiting game for them to get out of scale.
I mean, going into this one, they have their potential, right? It seems like Homeboys, they have a little bit on the squishier side. They have to play very delicately. They cannot get ganked. They need to just basically win out in the early game.
With that in mind, let's save the talk and let's get our grand finals of the KIC 2025 going, featuring Nova Esports taking on Black Shrew Esports in game number 1.
Thank you so much, Saki. As we go into, of course, game number 1, this is a best of 7. Can Nova Esports take down the reigning champs that is HBSE here?
I mean, this challenge has been issued many times, and Nova have not gotten the better of HBSE. So we'll see what kind of strength they're going to try and pull at this point. Waypit already taking a lot of damage. So on this Liang pick, it's just so useful.
Nova
Esports in this game, they cannot play scared. It seems like at times they've kind of let the mental psyche
Black Shrew Esports.
And for this one, especially in game 1, they gotta
next is gonna be Black Shrew Esports, guys.
Yep, you need to understand what your opponents are trying to do, right? Take a look at the damage.
ជឿជាក់គ្នាយើងជឿជាក់គ្នាយើងជឿគ្នាយើងគ្រប់គ្រង team ណាគ្នា
quite hard.
Oh, that Blossoming fan was coming into our Waypit. I thought he was going to get picked off even early, but this is also the key matchup. Guyu versus Juan in this one. I mean, Dharma will always be there for those team fights, but you got Juan. I mean, he's got a lot of damage, and this HBSC side, looking a little squishy.
I mean, this is also dependent on the rotation, right? Even if you have the best damage, if you're not there, you're not there.
Yeah.
So the space sprite taken by the side of Nova is going to be very important. Whoever gets the initial wave clear, makes their first TB down, will have a better position because you get to look at how and which angle your opponents are coming in from.
Yeah, gonna be key for them, but also not trying to get that initiation onto HBSC. They know that what's coming, so they're going to be aggressing. They're going to be one trying to take the fights of what they want.
We'll see. It's easy to think of what you want.
Yeah.
Very hard to get it in reality. With that being said, now with that they have a slight goalie for the side of HBSC. This is going to be a little bit of a spicy one if they get more camp skills on the side of HBSC. So Nova needs to understand what is this next rotation that HBSC are trying to do.
It's not too much to worry about from Nova Esports. As long as they're within like 500 to 1,000 gold, I think that they're going to be happy. They just cannot let CY die early because he is the guy that's, again, getting most of that farm, and that will really propel them in that mid-game.
I mean, it's also dependent on how late this game goes, right?
True.
Nova, right now, they're banking on the fact that, hey, we can last to the late game. We can last until that 10-minute mark without taking too many losses across the board. We may even be able to turn the fights around. But if they can't do that, this game ends in probably 15 minutes.
Yeah, it could be very quick, and that's the problem with Nova Esports. It's like they want to go later game. I mean, not to say that the Ogryn is the end-all, be-all that it used to be in terms of like a raid boss, but he's still very strong. Once he's tanky, HBSC have to respect that damage and that takeability of him.
Yep, and this is very scary because aided by the rotational speed of Mushanki, this one is going to allow him to have
all that control. They find him already, and Ignat gets a knock up at CY, the conductor of souls, but it's not going to be enough. Guyu with a nice rotation.
ម៉ែអើយចូលដល់ TP ផ្លាស់ជន់យកហើយ
HBSC, they will be able to get the first blood, and this is going to hurt Nova's growth. We talk about the late game standing. This is going to put them back by quite a bit.
Yeah, and I was just talking about how CY can't die, and then he just gives up first blood on that one. Not a great start, not the end of the world for them, but still, it looks like Waypit on the backside, finding VV for the solo.
Yeah, this is going to be great, right? So you slow down VV, that's one part of the formula. Now, CY has been slowed down, so it really is, okay, if there's one more hit coming in from either side on the important members, if Musang King falls, or Mushi falls as well, this is going to be a pressure point that's going to be a little hard to deal with.
Yeah, those two definitely need to stay alive. I mean, Musang King is one of the most efficient jungling farmers that are out there, right? So the Annihilation doing a little bit of work on the Musang King, who prowls back to safety, but still, I mean, they need to be very careful with how they approach here.
Yeah, because take a look at the farming speed of Musang King. It's already at level 8.
Mà một lôi Musang King ạ.
He had given away that first kill. Now with that 4-minute mark has been achieved, Nova are going to start working on this Tyrant. And HBSE not too concerned because Musang King is able to rotate as quick as lightning here.
Yeah, quick as lightning, but taking the Tyrants obviously will help expedite the speed, the farming speed of Nova Esports, doing a great job of ensuring that they do secure that one.
Alright, so they will put pressure on the T1. There is no more tower protection, which means HBSE should have this one for free. Now with that being said, that seems to be a decent trade for the side of Homeboys. What more can they extract from the map? Because Nova, I don't think they want to take a fight against, in fact it's the reverse. Homeboys cannot take a fight against Nova right now for the next 55 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time, but again, you have your own jungle to kind of deal with. I don't think that that's too much to worry about. But Jay, on the other hand, I would think that he wants to be making some of those jumps, goes for those ganks to, again, help propel this lead.
He's going to try, but this is where the backup needs to come. Zhihong as well as Green need to be around him, right? That initial setup, the reason why it was successful was because there was more damage, right? So you need either protection or you need to super burst that other person from the other team on the side of Nova. Now, that is not available for the moment, so Zhe needs to slow down and be very careful about his positioning.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that he wants to do. Obviously, it'll be very difficult. But again, they find Musang King. They have a little bit of the stuns. He prowls away. He should be fine. Again, Nova Esports, you're threatening. You're not really going for those kills, but if you're pushing them away.
Yeah, that's good. You want to make space across the gorge. Now they've lost the T1 on the top. This is not an ideal situation, right? HBSE now will have a better rotation, Guyu.
Yeah, Guyu taking a little bit of damage. Here comes the reinforcements. The Annihilation is going to be on. They have the Autumn Stormer. They find Guyu, and they get a kill on the board.
That's an important one because in the class lane, once you have the level gap, you have the gold gap. It's going to be really important for them as well. HBSE though, Musang King has been farming non-stop, and Nova has not stopped that problem just yet. Now they're still trading by about 1,000 gold. So Homeboys, they have this in their home court.
Yeah, they do on this one, but a nice play by
Trời
Nova
má ơi,
Esports.
phám đó là gì mà tôi chia đó.
The coordination and when they jumped in, super smart, really just paying off in spades with that one.
Okay, now I'm going to give you a secondary point here, right, in contention. Zhihong has gotten that venomous start, right? He's going to try for the utility build here, but he does have the Stone of Sorcery, so that's going to be a little bit of extra damage. So does Homeboy want to take a fight right now?
The opportunity is there, right? The sustain is going to be a problem otherwise. The Venomous Staff kind of neutralizes all that. That's going to be great to just kind of deal with the tiny team fight. But at the same time, HBSE, the way that they play, they usually just kind of wait for Musang King to hit that critical mass. I don't think he's ready.
Yeah, I definitely don't think he's ready as well. Master Sword, that's a great item, Musang King, but that's only if you are able to set up the situation where you get a low health member on the side of Nova. That is not going to be present for now. WavePit has already hit the markers. So far, his first destined encounter in this game did not find the success that they were looking for, right? And if they do, that is where Nova can turn his game around.
Yeah, and I mean, they're kind of keeping on pace right now. Only down about 500 gold. They're going to lose the bottom T1, but throughout, they're looking to trade. And I mean, these trades are actually in favor of Nova, who are looking to just extend this game.
Yes, and this is even with a tower disadvantage. So right now, they need to be very careful. HBSE though.
CY up in front, finding Guyu, who goes for the truth onto two with a Honey's Way Breeze. The flash away. Wavepit's going to be picked off. Do they get anything else? They've got the control locking him down, but Guyu's going to be killed. They find Chuan as well. There's Zhihong down, and it looks like Shay is going to be killed as well. It's a 3-for-3.
But this is what they need to do. Nova,
Is
yesterday
that
they were
right by
very scared. They did
smile
not
deck?
try to overcommit. Right now, if they can stop this push in the mid, this is success for the side of Nova. They have recovered the farm. There is very little to set the two.
Trời má Musang King phám bô mà.
Great start. Oh, that was a little bit close.
Oh,
but
Wendy tried to go for it with those creation blocks, and he missed.
Trời má Musang King bôm đó là vui.
Pick off, that would have been huge.
Right, this then comes down to position.
Mà Musang King bô mà giờ tiết lôi pin đánh bay vào rồi.
It was HBSE. Guyi got the setup, but it was HBSE that got caught.
Yeah. In the end, they actually made him pay, right? Guyu with a nice little setup, but again, everybody needs to be in that perfect spot, right, to really follow up. They weren't really able to do that, and I mean, it was a 3-for-3, so not the worst for either of these.
Damn, that farming is crazy, bro.
Get that combination off, right? Everything landed. Guyi got his ultimate off. Zhihong got the knockup with his Breeze as well. But this is where we will see the major difference, right? Guyi starts off the fight. Great catch, by the way. This is onto CY as well as WavePit. Technically, you have no 4 more kills at that point. But before he took a fall, Wave could actually use the Desert Encounter, save the teammates' health bars, which is why they're able to turn that situation around. If not, it would have been a nightmare for Nova.
I love the way that Guyu just makes plays, and the rest of HBSC are like, okay, he's going up, we're going in together, right? They're like of one mind, the hive mind, if you will. The HBSC, just with the way that they're able to just kind of coordinate these team fights.
The biggest difference here is the position of VV has definitely improved.
Yes.
And I think if VV has a consistent performance following whatever game they played yesterday against Nova, this could spell a great series for Homeboys BSC.
Oh, they got
one more.
Wendy. Oh, Wendy, he gets picked off and they make him pay. Jiyoung with that one now. Wave
Oh my god,
and
GG.
Guyu on the flank, but now CY running for his life. They want to go for the towers, but the Conductor of Souls has not enough life, and he's going to be picked off, but they're going to continue on.
Nah, bro, ain't no way, bro. Where you going, bro?
Musi with the
Musi.
triple kill
Oh!
and they find Muji as well.
Is an ace. This is right before the 10-minute mark. This is 20 seconds of pain. In 10 seconds, both boys, they get a T1. They can go for the Shadow Tyrant as well. But the prize is bigger here. Azure Golem. What does CY do without CDR? What does he do without mana regeneration as well?
One by one, they walked into the trap of HBSC, and we were talking about when Musang King was ready. He's ready now as he helps the team off of a triple kill, getting that ace.
My lord, but GG.
Use that annihilation by Wendy, and this is to no avail, right? So every
Trời mà đâm tí là phải đạp ơi. What the heck, man?
No answer. They have tried, but still they failed the test.
And that's the moment, right? When like that 8 to 10 to 12 minute mark is when HBSC hit that critical mass and they decide to
Đâm này tí là phải đạp.
itemization and when they are at the peak of their strength.
The timing is just not right? Nova is a great composition, but they cannot sync their skills at the right time. HBSC though, Guyi, Musang King, Zhihong, the three of them on point. They're actually synergizing with each other and making sure that it's not one move, it is a combination of multi-fuse, and Nova cannot handle that right now.
Cannot at all. I mean, that team fight was completely in favor of HBSC. They've grown this lead to about 4.3K at this point. I mean, 11 minutes in, we knew it was going to be a bit of a struggle. Nova Esports were doing fine. They were weathering the storm, but then, with that team fight, HBSC definitely in the driver's seat.
It comes down to what happens throughout the entire game. Take a look at the goal difference now. It's 4,000 ahead for Musang King against CY, and you're supposed to be able to tank on CY. Right now, that Conductor of Souls is not doing anything.
Yeah, it's not doing much at all. The life steal, plus they have the Venomous Staff, right? So you're kind of negating what he's bringing to the table, and it's tough, right? CY, this is uphill sledding at this stage.
Yeah, and at this point, they have the Shadow Overlords and Vanguards marching down as well. One more hit to end the T3s. That would be a big marker for HBSC.
Yeah, they're going to start this T3, and it doesn't look like they have any sort of answers. With that Vanguard up in front, they're going to take that one down very easily. They rotate to the bottom lane. Again, Nova Esports want to deal with the Vanguards, but Musang King is within firing range.
Yeah, and Guyi is also within firing range, is looking for the flash proof mantra. And look, every time the Vanguards come, any T3 you take, that is extra value, that's a perk, that's a freebie. And HBSC, they're looking for it, they're very close to the crystal. Guyi, where are you?
Yeah, this is so scary because you know that potential jumping can happen. He's going all the way on the flank on the bottom. CY is up in front because he knows he needs to provide that vision, keep the Vanguards off the crystals.
Yeah, they just want to take the T3. This is an even more disciplined HBSC than we've seen yesterday.
Yeah, they are not messing around at this point. Look at Musang King with that damage, taking the top T3. They took all of the towers, and they're just like walking off away.
And this is
GG.
8,500 gold in favor.
Come on, Black Respawn, let's go.
A lot of people were doubting, hey, maybe Nova comes back. And you know what? Guyi was telling us yesterday, look, the talents, the casters, they said that, you know, they voted against us. Yes, we have still voted against you, maybe not Saki, but, you know, it's up for him to prove us wrong.
Yeah, I actually learned my lesson. I voted for HBSC because I was like, oh, Guyu cannot be calling me out again, right? I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to be in his bad graces at this stage.
Well, I will stick to my guns, and we'll see how this goes.
But HBSC, looting and pillaging, taking everything from Nova Esports, and now with everything, they're going to slow roll it down mid here.
Now it's a 5,000 goalie between the two.
Oh, they got the control. They find CY. Do they have the damage? He bounces on out. Guyu with that truth. It's not going to be enough, but they find Muji. They get the kill. Guyu now is going to be on the run. Jiyoung has been picked off. Juan doing his work, but 3 members down from Nova at this stage. And HBSC
GG!
take game 1. one. If Wendy is able to hold, he's taking the minions at this stage. I think they're going to extend the game, at least for the next wave. Yeah,
but this is all Wendy. He has no options left. No more flash, no ultimate. They have a second life as well.
The flash inside, they've got the control.
Easy, bro.
Wendy, and of course, HBSC off of the ace will take game number 1.
Damn.
History has repeated itself. Nova, you have not learned your lesson.
It's a difficult round thus far, and every time nearing the 9 minutes mark is where one man coming in from Nova Esports gets caught out in that mid lane. This time, it was Wendy, and
Phải lỗi một ai đội nhóm á Musang King nha.
for the side of Nova Esports.
I mean, they essentially have been turned into chips at this point, right? Fried from the
Lên sân mày chết mày, lên đâm tí là phải làm đập.
And with that being said, this is where HBSC even cleaner, even more calculated than yesterday, and what a way to start the best of 7 series.
Very clean. The way that they were able to just take everything and nothing was at risk. They didn't go, they were not impatient. They were just kind of playing the slow game. They're like, we're in such good control. All we need to do is bide our time and we will eventually take you out.
The slow transition coming in from the draft itself also means a lot, where we saw a lot of expensive picks being committed by both squads, but after committing those and still losing as Nova Esports, you know for a fact that they are trembling right now, especially the emotions.
And this is not the day where you want to have your mental psyche affected.
Right? Oh no.
But this is where champions are made. This is
Hashtag
where the
pin
pressure
nha,
is the toughest, and
analyst
you
mùi.
need to prove to not just your fans, your friends, but to yourself that you're deserving of this place. You have gotten here. You have beaten all the other teams. You are now the potential number 2. You just need to win one series to take it all. 300
Pi nè hàng xăm nó caster hay là Pi nè hàng trade nó quạt analyst bộ mùi nè nè anh chị bật nè anh chị á nè.
Again, it seems like deja vu with this lineup. HBSC understanding how to dismantle this roster.
But Jin, one series sounds easy on number, but this series is so difficult if your opponent is Homeboy's Black Shoe Esports. We saw the draft that we talk about. Yes, Nova Esports, if they can survive that early game and play towards that late game 12 to 14 marker, their roster is phenomenal. So much late game power, so much damage. But Homeboy's Black Shoe Esports, they know they don't want to drag it. Hence, every single play committed by Guiyu was just phenomenal.
Trời mà ơi, mình lối ạ.
13 minutes and 55
Quên đập khe goal.
Musang King was at 40. That is 1,000 GPM, 1,000 gold per minute, and he actually converted it into 71,000 worth of damage. This is hero damage to the lineup of Nova.
Trời mà Musang King ơi, my god.
That's like, okay, I'm going to carry this game. I'm going to be back to the, the number 1 spot. You know that there's going to be a lot of eyes on Musang King, and he came prepared.
And look at the goal league here. It was a stable run for both squads here. Only about 1,000 between these two teams. Still acceptable if you are a Nova composition. But due to the mistakes that happened towards the mid lane, or you could say priority on the opportunity coming in from Ze and also Guiyu, it immediately landslided into a 9.7k game-winning finish.
This is where the difference of 1 kill makes a big difference, right? So the fact that, CY got taken down, he was out of the game for about, 20 seconds? And when that 20 seconds happened, the insane amount of farm was given to the side of Musang King. But the comparison here, the mid laners, the maximum value by Zihong. Every time there was a stun, Zihong was next in line to get it done as well.
And Wendy was doing what he could. I mean, the Nua is definitely very strong. Had the creation, had the annihilations. Not bad, but when you're losing, Nua really is not as efficient.
And this is also the repeat of yesterday's game 1, right? Where Nova Esports, you get a fantastic draft on the blue side, and then you look towards the red side, it's HBSC
Cái má game tôi bỏng trai
showing
là hai
what
nè.
they can on towards their drafts to get that red side counter here. But Musang King, you mentioned this, 14,000 gold at barely 14 minutes.
MVP
This
easy.
guy was totally on a roll in this game 1 and in this grand finals.
He's the king for the reason, right? I mean, he's 805. The way that he's able to play this pay, he is so efficient, so scary. You're going to see a lot more of Musang King in this series.
Yeah, I mean, the way he funnels gold is just by himself. Loans himself already very quick, very strong. But the team also helps him by taking those minions and those camps really quickly. This first initiation coming in from the side of Guiyu, it hurt HBSC for quite a bit. But then the turnaround happened.
But this is still fine coming in for side Nova Esports. There's still a 3-for-3 overall in exchange. The next one, this mid lane one, was the most crucial one. The off-screen coming in from Wendy and immediately getting Shuan, getting CY, and Waypick here, forcing Muchi to also use the next factor. Look at how Ze plays this. Places the perfect stun on towards the Parasaurus Paracel, making sure that he isn't able to do any form of play. And after that loss, this is just a landslide of a 9,000 gold lead in front of the Crystal.
Just too many items, just way too much damage. They really didn't have any answers. And they were fighting under the Crystal, and HBSC doesn't care. But Jeff, with some clutch control, especially in some of these team fights here.
Yeah, and one thing you'll notice about this game for HBSC is the fact that they're always doing multiple things at the same time. And when there is a goal difference, you start to see, oh, there is too many problems to solve. So what a game by HBSC. And once again, it's looking a little tight. No,
I don't know about you guys, part of the team, man.
How do you recover from this?
But I know it's gonna
like a repeat.
Black Shoe Esports វាយមួយ Nova ហើយ អត់មានធីមណាវាយឈ្នះម៉ាឡេទេ ហើយនៅម៉ាឡេមាន12 ធីមហ្នឹងដែលខ្លាំងជាងគេ
Not the most expensive, we can take that loss, but this one is the Nova's most comfortable draft, and losing on this, it's gotta be.
It's gonna be BSE, man.
I mean, if anything right now,
Black Shoe Esports, bro.
I think my Dia Spiel, smart control anytime, anywhere with energy management and AI technology features. Of course, it's going to cool us all down if we were able to get some back.
Yeah, I want the Eco Master as well, because Eco also stands for economy if you are looking at it from a different perspective. And economy is something you need to protect. So right now, HBSC, I really like the way they're playing, but you really have to kind of take a closer look into how they're doing it. And how you're going to be able to do that is to find us on our social media platforms as well.
You know, a lot of these times, right, when I go over to the side of HOK Esports, every single region always have this banter here. The one that I favorite the most is the Philippines HOK Esports and the HOK Esports Indonesia. They have like a toxic or a fun banter brotherhood that they keep punching over each other every time.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, those two, as well as there's a lot of good, you know, just insights in terms of the global page as well. I mean, we see the life behind the scenes with like Zhang Q and Joshi and all them. So we get to see exactly how these players are outside of the game.
Exactly here.
Chào mơ game pi màn tí.
We need a short break here.
Nơi ta đãi cho mới tới.
Both teams, and for Nova, this is the time for
cái game
you
mấy
to
anh trai đã
recuperate
không à.
yourself and find that momentum here if you do not want to lose out in this grand finals itself. So let's head on to a break.
Thôi da phèm tí à. Ủa anh click bật ní vậy, chẳng lại vô. Làm. Ok bà này. Nhóm play cho nhóm advanced but monetization đây nó. À, mua xăng khiến chạch mới lên.
And that was a great break so far. Hopefully Nova Esports from that time alone gets to recuperate their formation and come back into the series with a more stable composition or a more stable composure.
I mean, going into this one, I think draft-wise, there were definitely some questions. And I think you rightly pointed out where the Nova squad, yeah, they're comfortable, but they're kind of, they all need a bit of farm. And so the net worth throughout was just kind of scattered throughout.
I feel like you make a very good point. So when we look to the Nova Esports lineup, the first three pick, fantastic. But when you see the Fatih, Mighty Conqueror, and also the Celestial Nuwa start to be picked up, you start to wonder, wow, that's a very expensive composition in both the picks itself and also how much resources are needed to be shared among them.
Yeah, and I think at this point, you really need to pace yourself in terms of like the kinds of picks you want, right? Both teams, like you said, had a very expensive first draft in this game. Now the next part is, okay, do you double down or do you take a little bit off of the gas and see how does it work?
That's the difficult part, right? If you lose a game one like that, do you question the draft or do you question the mistakes that you made? Because sure enough, draft was an issue, but halfway through the game, you could see signs of life coming in from the Nova lineup here. Before 10 minutes mark, it was very 50-50 here. So it comes down to how they play the composition in the game itself.
Also, they didn't really just, I mean, in terms of execution, it seemed like Nova Esports were not able to kind of find Busan King. He has been farming way too freely in this series thus far.
Yeah, so much. And this is also aided by the fact that there's a pay pick, right? So HSBE, they understand this risk. They take out the Tigers straight away. Nova has no access into this pay jungler.
And interesting enough, every time from yesterday,
Nova lên câu phải
they will go on towards the blue side here. Learning from their mistake, they are now starting to take over the red side. That gives them more reaction towards the counter picks.
And this came back to the winter bracket finals when they were playing together, and Nova Esports were force-feeding the blue side. Even when they were losing, they were continuing to take that. I think that you want to be on the red because, like, honestly, execution-wise, both of these guys are very mechanically skilled and even, but it comes back to that draft.
That's why HSBE banned out the Luna, right? That is the prior position to take a Luna because the first buff you'll work with is the Zero Golem. Now HSBE, they're going to start changing things up. They're going for the flex pick, the Dolia. And now Nova is put back in the pseudo blue position. You get to show us what you want to play because you either take the Yangjin or you lose the game.
I think they have to definitely take the Yangjin, also Yuhuan here, and look for the flex potentially going into the roam or the mid lane later on. But also picking up the Muchi Long here makes a lot of sense. But my worry is, there will still be a channel counter directly against this Ao-In.
Yeah, and actually Chano's doing very well. He's definitely one of those answers, but it doesn't synergize as well with the Dolio.
There is a potential here, HSBE. They can just go for the Nerja with Yuhuan pick as well. Right?
Oh, that's very comfortable.
One heal, double Skyfall.
There we go.
And so HSBE, I like the idea of this, right? and we'll see whether they're gonna lock in the U1. I think that's a very strong.
ចង់ឲ្យថាប្រកួតណាតើ Neo ប្រកួតណាគេឲ្យលេខ3 4
The
game
call onto was that this is a very solid lineup here with Lung's build thus far in this game. Because Aoyin Lung, as a hero, as a marksman, his consistent DPS is not as high compared to the regular marksman here. He's more of a burst marksman with those flaming palms here. Thus, it's very difficult for a Lung to realistically take down a Nutsa here. But Nova be like, okay, you go for the Lung. I will go for a stronger DPS burst mage to cover up that DPS that we lack.
Yeah, and that damage is definitely going to help. But Neza has a 70% win rate. Right? It's 10-4 throughout the KIC. It has a lot of play, but also to Kin's point, if he's ever going to be coach, I feel like the team, all the players on that team are just going to have execute.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good strat, no? So 5 executes, you lower the bar one by one, and then the final execute gets the reset.
I don't think the enemies will line up for you to get executed one by one, but of course, that could be something that to explore into in the near future here. With Nova coming into the second phase of the ban, they do remove the Consort U Woodland Ranger and also the Dominator here coming in on the Liu Bang here. So both are the combinations of the Nutsak and also this Liu Bang here. So that will be removed away, but I like this interesting Da Xiao pickup here. This is a good one because if you time the Sea of Fate correctly, it can really remove you from the Nutsa trend.
I think this one also could be a flex pick, right? The Yangjin can go into the clash lane.
Correct.
Now the question is, do you want to go with the Flowborn tank? Because if you do that, you might not be able to take the Flowborn marksman already next few games.
I think with Nova's lineup, it might be going in towards a direction like a Dun or a potential tank like a Monkey here. To use a Flowborn tank this early on towards the draft, it really damages them because they are one of the teams that prioritizes a lot on the Flowborn marksman.
Yeah, this game, HBSE, I think farming is very important. Once VV on this Lady Sun gets the same kind of space he gets in game number 1, I feel like this game is pretty much over. So they will put it in the jungle, and that we're talking about the Yangjin here. And we're gonna have the Night Plume, the Ambrosia double lives to see if they can bait out all the damage that HBSE has to offer and counter them after that fact.
Yeah, Nova's going to be very elusive. It's going to be, I mean, you have your Infinite Vastness, you have the Sea of Fate, you also have the second life of that Final Frenzy with that Ambrosia. So you have guys that can be annoying, but can they withstand the onslaught? Because HBSC's lineup are just going to run at you.
And also HBSC's lineup, it's a easier execution composition here. If Nutsa gets it going in the early game, he's just going to be pouncing at you with every single shot that he takes. And the first ultimate will immediately force out the Infinite Vastness. You're putting Aoyin, the hands of Muchi, in a very peculiar state.
And you can't really play the early game here on the side of Nova because Yangjin takes a little bit of time to come online, right? He doesn't really come online until he's level 4. So this is where I think Nova needs to be aggressive in some other form, right? Steal some camps or at least make the entry into your jungle a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, if you can really delay the Nutsa early game rotations here, make sure that he doesn't get as comfortable as we speak of, because game 1 Musang King, he had a field day. He was taking every single resource on towards the Gorge, which made him the MVP thus far. So in game 2, they really need to think of something to really limit the King in the jungle.
Yeah, it's all about that lane, that jungle matchup that you're talking about. Yang Jian going into the KIC, I felt like was going to be one of those heroes that has one of the strongest ones, but the cream to the crop is basically the Neza has actually taken that spot, has been one of the toughest junglers to deal with.
And this will be game number 2 between Homeboys Black Shoe Esports taking on Nova Esports here. With the drafts being locked in, coming in for both of these squads, you will have to see the proper execution coming in from Nova, especially here. To do well on the Da Xiao and also the Yangjin, this is
sponsor.
Not easy at all.
Yeah, I mean at this point, First Blood once again is going to be a very important juncture for this game, and as well as that.
最尾 game 呢 Black Shoe Esports đang không thẳngปืนไว้เนี่ย
Nova, they got their Tyrant, but they couldn't find value off of it, and instead it turned.
Wow, farm อันไหนทำให้ปืนไวเลย
T1, they got the buffs, everything to counter whatever Nova has with the Tyrant buff.
And really, to talk about Tyrant these moments, right? If you really make a mistake at the 9-minute mark, that really damages your tempo throughout the game, because we know you can die at any moment in time before the 10-minute mark, but once you hit that 9-minute 30 seconds and you blunder, immediately it means like no more team fights. The Shadow Tyrant is freely given over to the enemy team, which was what happened in that game just now. But hey, that's game 1. These pro teams, they have all it takes to bounce back in game 2. This will be Grand Finals game 2. HBSC taking on Nova.
Nova Esports right now must win, dare I say. I think that they cannot be down 0-2. I think that that would be a world of hurt for them. I mean, they've been there, and they have not been able to dig out of that hole at times.
I can feel your call. I can feel the aggression coming out from Nova Esports as well. They have pushed Guiyu to use his flash in this 44-second mark. And right now, Xuan knows about the rotations. What can he do with this information?
Yeah, but Juan might not be in a great spot. He's going to try to just get under the tower. That was a good gank attempt by HBSC, but the vision from Juan made sure that he was going to be safe.
I mean, if they can get this secure, they would be good. It does get secure by Waypit. Great movement. And now Waypit is level 2, which means ZeolyKH should be a behind.
Đây là cái chất áo của mẫu là câu đó nè.
Space Sprite is going to be the next big piece. Those severing surges are going to be annoying. Juan just dealing with the minions, taking that out. Waypit maybe goes for the steal. He doesn't want to risk it.
No point risking it, right? We've already seen the difference between two of the top tier teams, especially we're only left with this two, right? One minor mistake, HBSC turned that into a huge advantage against Nova in game number 1. You don't want to make the same mistakes. Lessons must be learned.
Yeah, must be learned at this point. And I think Nova Esports, if anything, this is one where you're kind of like, okay, let's funnel to the right heroes, the right amount of net worth. CY is the guy, Bucci's the guy. Everyone else is kind of secondary on this lineup.
So right now, it's looking like they want to go for the setup here, but it's not going to be working. Xuan going to be just pushed away, has to use the flash as well. Here's the big problem for Xuan though. He is having a level gap against Guiyu. Guiyu is freezing the lane.
Freezing the lane, making it tough for him. I mean, Xuan is now going to be 4, but you don't have flash. Now you've got to play a little bit scared in the sense that, yeah, you have Final Frenzy, but if you're out of position, you're out of position.
Yeah, and once again, HBSC putting maximum value across the board here, taking the steal of that camp on that spike tail beast. Not the biggest loss, but all these little things add up. You can see there's a very slight gold advantage going to the side of HBSC already.
Yeah, taking that one. And again, just more farming efficiency with Musang King. Once he hits that point and he's flying in with that Skyfall to that backline, you're looking at the Nova squad. I mean, Wendy and Mucci and even Waypit, very vulnerable.
Yeah, very vulnerable. Especially if Mucci is going to be forced to use his flash or his Infinite Vases early before this 4-minute mark, right? And that's totally possible with Vivi, because with the rolling raid, the frag grenade, lowers your defenses, you get to be taken down really quickly, really easily as well.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're talking about lane matchup, the Lady Soon and Loom in a vacuum, not looking at players and all that, you're gonna give the edge to the Loom though, right?
I actually give it to the Lady Sun. Because with the lower defenses, yes, you can kind of get your way out with the Infinite Vases, but in terms of pure damage output, I would give, because of the added mobility, to Lady Sun.
Okay, all right. Let's see how that one plays out. But Vivi has really stepped it up in the KIC, right? We got to give him props, because there were definitely questions of, like, is he able to carry this team? And you're seeing this is a well-oiled machine, and Vivi has been a critical component of that.
And that is a perfect timing to hit, right? Vivi, do we think he has the best performance in KIC today? Not yet, right? But he has improved significantly since day number 1.
Yeah, you don't have to be the best player in a team of all-stars. I mean, Guyu's been the guy, Musang King as well. They've been having a lot of eyes. Also, Jihong, right? And as well as Jay. Everybody's really been in the spotlight, so you don't need to worry. All you need to be is just consistent, and you're able to end games.
Like we said, right? HOK is not about an individual game. It's really about the team play. The better team will win, whether you like it or not.
Okay, I hate that, because when I lose my ranked games, I'm just like, no, they were not better than me, right? I just had some really bad teammates.
Well, too bad. Right now, Guiyu actually manages to pull some attention away from the side of Nova. Although they have prior over this Tyrant Pit, which means this one should go into the hands on the side of Nova.
Well, the ultimate shell was committed by Vivi. I thought he was going to get that steal, but just not enough damage. I mean, CY with that smite. This is a different game number 2, taking that first big neutral.
Okay, but with that being said, now then is, can you get the free damage in? Flaming Palms, really important to be landed by Mucci, needs to be on the important members as well.
And look at how CY being aggressive. This is what you want to do. They didn't do this in game 1. They didn't contest Musang King. He was off the map almost the entire game, came back in with all of the weapons that you could ask for because his farm was just out of control.
Yes, but the main thing here is the fact that they're not stopping these steals. Small camps being stolen over time will add up. And even though they're keeping close right now, Nova doing a good job. HBSC, what a position to be in. They have the goalie, they have a little bit of map advantage. And even though they gave away the Tyrant, it looks like Nova couldn't find any value with it.
Yeah, I like it how you bring that up. I mean, the small things, right? And that's really what helps propel these teams to that advantage when they take it. Because, like, the big mistakes, these two teams do not make.
Yeah, it's very important. Goal sharing, the fact that HBSC is actually maximizing the goal sharing by making sure that it's always 3 different members, right? So Zhe will get tankier, and right now Mucci.
Yeah, Mucci, he was going to be on, but Waypit tried to go. Vivi's going to flash away. Zhe shows up and he's just like, hey guys, where's the party?
Yeah, the save comes in and Mucci will be sent home, but hang on.
Oh, in the mid lane, Musa Kid getting very low. CY gets first blood, taking him down.
And he will survive as well.
Oh, She-Hulk tried to flash on forward, but here comes Guyu, gets the double, taking them both out.
God damn.
Every single time Nova feels like, okay, we got the advantage. HBSE take the cane and whip their backs.
I mean, Guyu, just the timing, right? I mean, he's always there when you need him. Oh, Waypit taking a lot. Oh, the Sea of Fate on out. Gio putting that pressure on.
Yeah, this is a tight situation once again for the side of Nova, but this is where the most minute of differences will be had. Unending Sorrow going to be used. The heals coming out super valuable for HBSE.
A lot of value, right? That sustain, just being able to just hide in that mid lane. Something to take note of. The sustain from the HBSE side is legit, right? I mean, you also have the Dolia as well. They could literally sit under that tower at times.
And you know, Jody didn't even have to use his heal, which is a big concern for the side of Nova, because if you can't force out the common spell usages, you can't force out the ultimates as and when you please, bad situation.
Yeah, the Unending Sorrow, he's going to be aggressive. Infinite Vastness used by Mucci. He has to just stay alive. But Schwan chasing after VV, not able to get any to catch with a Skyfall, and Schwan in a bad spot, but the final frenzy, and he gets on out.
Yeah, I mean, he had his ultimate. Now it's gone. If they catch
CY with that Heaven and Earth. Sorry, it's going to be the end of that.
Yeah, if Xuan gets taken out again, then it's not going to be a good case because he does not have the Undying form again. So we'll take a look at Nova here. What kind of moves can he make? Mucci, no more ultimate as well, just has the flash.
He does have the flash, but he's going to be aggressive. He's being supported by Waypit in that top lane. And in this mid lane, this is super annoying. I mean, the amount of pushback and the heals, like you can't really deal with these two without a numbers advantage.
I mean, that's why the answer is really clear. Now, the attempt onto Xuan, he's not going to give his life here for sure, but it's more about trying to be present to make sure that the amount of damage that they can do on the structures is not going to be enough.
Yeah, and Nova Esports, now they're going to get jumped on potentially by Guyu, who's kind of dashing, like poking and prodding a little bit, and Nova Esports are like, okay, we got to play a little bit safer. Let's extend this game, even though they're down about 2K.
Sure, this one.
Oh, the flash away, the Skyfall goes right in, the Final Frenzy's going to be used a little bit early, but he's going to be fine. Gets on out, using those skills to the maximum here, and now CY, he's going to be stunned. Mucci showing up, the Unending Sorrow completely dodging out that Flaming Palm, but CY looking to hound in forward, he's going to back off now.
Nothing. It's all a bait, right? Nova being baited out. Take a look at what's happening at the top. This is all to make space so that you can actually get the split push off. And this is going to be a guaranteed T1. Now, even with all of these distractions, HBSE, they've managed to get the goal lead as well.
Yeah, I mean, Nova Esports, they expended a lot of ults, and all they did was survive, right? They didn't get any sort of advantage out of it. They were actually pushed back, so HBSE very happy with that. And now with these long cooldowns on, I mean, now you can take the Tyrant essentially for free.
Yep, so it's a 1-for-1 now. They get the next Tyrant of the game, 8.5 minute mark. This is also a position where you get to hold strength over Nova. You don't allow them to take unnecessary fights. Or if they take a bad fight, you win, you get the 10-minute mark Tyrant.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of what they're looking for. But again, the HBSE, the way that they're kind of dodging most of this, and the Unending Sorrow used it with that Celestial Melody from Zhe, keeping himself alive.
Yeah, but look at the value. Now you're constantly pulled across the map. Nova have no answers. T2 at the bottom being pressured as well. T1 in the top, taken. And now, all of a sudden, 3,000 gold ahead. HBSE very much in control.
Very much in control, and you're seeing this map control by the HBSE side because you have the Neja. You can be anywhere and you're able to provide all that damage. We saw this in the Blacklist International Series and where Joshi was able to go from lane to lane at will.
Yeah, and this is where it gets very irritating because Zhong is tanking so much. And once you force this ultimate, okay, you think it's over. No, the refresh comes in from the side of Zhe, and Zhong once again,
they actually decide to go in the infinite fastest. Guyu not scared, diving the T2 tower, and now Guyu taking a couple shots. He's going to be backing off. Juan is still up in there, trying to deal with them and trying to push them away. They take the bottom T2, and now Juan is in a bad spot. The final frenzy, but CY looking to go in. He might have dove in way too deep. CY is getting focused, but Nova Esports somehow survived with all 5 members.
Survive, but they're limping. Look at the value. HBSE get everything on the bottom side of the map as well. Azure Golem, this one going into the hands of the side of Zhe. They want that CDR, they want that magic regeneration as well, for the mana regeneration, sorry. And with that, it's going to be 3,000 still ahead. And this is a Shadow Tyrant on the hands and on the menu.
Yeah, looking to take this one away, but they forced Nova Esports back. And I mean, HBSE playing it to the perfection. I mean, yeah, it's great to get those kills. CY looking to hound it forward, but Jihong with that sustain, the unending sorrow. He's gonna go forward, tries to go for Wendy, who flashes over the wall. Guyu's gonna look to chase. He's got to go golden, but Wendy gets picked off. Guyu finding him out. CY gets that revenge, but here comes the Skyfall. He wants to go on to Muchi. In the bottom side, you're seeing that VV's just going, but CY with his Heaven and Earth mode is just looking to chase VV down, gets that pick with that triple kill, but Jihong gets the return.
And there's a cleanup. HBSE still take the better end of this fight. They are in a much better spot. Musang King is at level 14. He has the level advantage. He has the Azure Golem as well. And Zihong can wave clear. No issue for this guy.
And we knew going in that the junglers, all eyes would be on them. Both of them
Charlotte đòi lên cao nhưng mà cái khai bởi Charlotte đeo cá chào rồi.
Back line tearing it up.
Yeah, they have no answers. Nova right now, they have to try and seek what is this next move that HBSE are planning, right? Because it seems like at every corner, every turn, every decision that Nova makes, HBSE knows about it, and they're making them, they're punishing them for it.
Yeah, I feel like HBSE right now are doing like the Minority Report. They know what's coming, right? And so, I mean, DJ can break it down.
Mission report, 1999, and we're going straight in. This is the flash by the side of Wendy here. And look, the Splendor was a great move, but Guyi is ready to trade his life. And this buys a lot of space for VV. VV did well to last so long, which binds attention away from the side of Nova's lineup, which also gives Musang King the ability to finish off Muji on the other side. So it's a big trade. Farm laner for farm laner, you don't really care at this point.
Yeah, you don't care too much, but CY with that Heaven and Earth mode, not able to get the Tyrant, and now Nova Esports really have no reason to fight, especially since they've lost Muji here.
Yeah, and Xuan's gonna be taken down as well. And you see the main difference?
Yeah.
CY is always in the middle of the entirety of HBSE. At the same time, Musang King is free to do whatever he wants. That Tyrant was free for the taking. No one there to bother him.
Yeah, CY, when he goes Biggie size mode with that Heaven and Earth mode, I feel like he's just like a bigger target. We're like, okay, actually we just back off from this giant monument, but now they find CY. They're gonna do a decent amount of damage. He's gonna see off fate out of this one, but now HBSE turn their attention to the mid lane.
Yep, they have 55 seconds to do as much structural damage that they can. And looks like one more kill, Wendy.
Wendy gets sniped out. Jihong with the play, just way too much. He thought he was fine.
Dude, this version of HBSE is just so entertaining. They're so strong. There's no gaps.
No gaps whatsoever. They're taking everything. You step out, they find Wave Pit. They get the pick off. Infinite passes all back for Muji. They take the T3, and now CY running for his life. He's gonna hide under this T3, but they don't care. HBSE in the enemy base are looking to take game number 2 in a bit of a hurry, but Nova Esports, they don't have the minions right now. They will be here. Jihong does the play on Muji. He's been stunned. He's going to be back in his fountain. Chuan is going to be picked off. And now HBSE just waiting their time for the next minion wave. But finally, Guyo a little too deep at this point.
They still lose this. If they choose to aggress again, they can take this. But HBSE, very disciplined. They say, we'll back off. We've gotten what we came for.
Okay, căng đấy bro. Cá chỗ
in the bottom. And with this, a 7,000 goal lead as well. HBSE, just a completely different beast in the grand finals.
I mean, the only thing holding them back was the minion wave, right? Like the Nova Esports lineup, they have a decent amount of wave clear. So that it gave them essentially a lifeline, but for how much longer?
That took me a little bit because Wendy, he actually used his ultimate there to try and get the wave clear when there was no minions, which meant there was one more opportunity for them to get that engage as well.
Look at that mid get diff right now. I mean, 10.2 to 7K. Wendy, you were talking about trying to make those plays, but man, he is really struggling at this stage. They're down 6.7, but a lot of that is kind of in this mid lane.
And they need the damage. And Muji, his strength is single target damage, and right now, Nova, can they steal this away?
Yeah, CY's in that one. The Overlord, the potential steal, and now with that stun, Musang King takes the Overlord. HBSE taking everything this game.
And here's what's going to happen for HBSE. They're going to start making sure that the waves are going to be synchronized. 3 lanes at the same time. Nova cannot defend this. You have the defense by Wendy, that's AoE, but no one else, maybe wave hit. Everyone else is a single target damage biggie.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, right? And I mean, the way that HBSE have been playing this with all 3 lanes pushing it out at the same time, it's like a well-choreographed ballet at the end of the day.
Yeah, man, this will be a symphony of skills here because take a look at what Nova is. They have to group up, and this is a perfect situation for Musang King to dive in, or maybe even Guyu as well.
Yeah, they're looking to go for this one. I mean, Nova, I don't even think they can defend. They've been completely pushed away. They take the top T3. The bottom was sieging as well, and now HBSE looking to close out this game.
And we are very very near that 2-0 now. Nova trying to defend with their life.
He goes right to the back line, finds him, but Wendy goes golden. He's going to stay alive just for now. He's going to be picked off. And now with the infinite fastness, it looks like Muchi's going to be back to safety. CY gets picked. HBSE taking everything from Nova as they chase it down. They take down Muchi. And more importantly, the Crystal is there. They have the Vanguard and they will take game 2.
Dominant performance by the side of HBSE. Very clean. Every single answer, every single attempt shut down by the side of Homeboys. Black through Esport. What a game.
Jump on the train. It's the Homeboys train right now, and they are dominating back-to-back games in a similar fashion right now. Nova, the Nova fans and the players, they are trembling at this point.
You can feel the ground is shaking because everyone is cheering. And you know what? At this point, the answer, Joker does not look satisfied, but for good reason. The job is not done. You have a lead, 2-0, that's great, but you need to make sure you cement this trophy for yourself.
The mission is not over yet, considering the fact that we are playing a full best of 7. This is still halfway there for HBSC, but Nova, what is going on?
To be honest, it doesn't seem like they have any sort of answers for this Neza. He was just on the back line throughout. I mean, it looked good with the Yangjian. It seemed like COI had found it, but then they were getting picked off systematically. HBSE, the way that they play is so clean this series.
Yeah.
Look,
once again, you have too many things to do.
Easy.
Options to choose from. Every time they're throwing all the skills, all the damage on the Zhihong, Zhihong gets that unending sorrow. And then that's the first part of the problem. Celestial Melody comes through, suddenly you have a second heal, and all the damage you wanted to offer to the side of Musang King, gone. When you go against the King, you cannot miss. They couldn't even throw a punch on the King.
Now that's why every time we see a Dolia being picked up, a lot of teams, their answer is immediately to pick up and steal away the Yangjin and also Yuhuan here. And take a look over to the side of Nova Esports lineup here. We talk about it. It's very difficult if they aren't able to withstand Musang King and Guiyu's heavy approach. Every time they dove, Wendy pops a Splendor, but the moment the Splendor is over, he's getting taken out. And the sole member Muji, he doesn't have sufficient DPS to really rile down these heavy tanks.
Yeah, just way too much damage.
But it's just for one person, right?
Yeah,
The moment Wendy is gone, there is no more AoE damage. Take a look at the damage that Zhihong did. 151,000 worth of hero damage against the lineup of Nova Esports. But what's more impressive is the damage he took.
Yeah, I mean, he was that frontliner, right? And the sustain, the amount of healing, which we don't see on this the stat sheet here, but that was one of the most important things. Nova Esports are like, okay, we're constantly barraging like him. We're doing so much damage, but we're never able to kill him. He did not die a single time in this game.
And not dying a single time led to this monstrous of a goal lead here, all the way to a 9.6 thousand here. This is a similar thing that we talk about. The game goes very smoothly for both teams, but the turning point always comes around that 10 to 9 minute mark immediately. It just topples and goes in favor of Homeboys Blackshoe Esports. Yes, you can say HBSE played a fantastic game, but Nova, errors are starting to arise, especially in the grand finals.
It's like a double whammy, right?
Correct.
You can take a look at what's happening here. Wendy, I mean, this build with the Venomous Staff, Savant's Rob, you want to maximize the damage but with the Splendor as well. But then, if you're the first one being targeted, what does that do to your team? Absolutely nothing.
And I feel like the Venomous Staff came in a bit too late. If we went for the Venomous Staff early on, maybe Zhihong in all those approaches will be punished here, but the MVP of this game will be Guiyu here. Despite being down in the lane, his presence was all over the gorge, especially towards the back lines.
Yeah, when those team fights were happening, he would just constantly just dive to the back on the Rose Fencer here. I mean, he's 4-2 and 6, but the 22% damage, which was quite great for him, but it really set things up because Zhihong with all of that vision in that front line.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you want. 20%, it's 1/5.
Yeah.
You have 5 members on your team. You're doing your job already. But more importantly, it's about who he's going for. He was making life for Mushi so difficult.
Oh, yeah.
He was making life for the Roma on the side, Way Pit as well. An absolute nightmare. We'll take a look at the highlights of this particular game itself.
You can start to see the potential of Guiyu here, forcing out Splendor here, and before he does die, he still forces out Muji on this flash, and this was after a fight at their high ground here. Muji at this point does not have the infinite fastness here, has to be chased down by Musang King, even though CY got 3 kills on towards the bottom side. CY is a pseudo tank, it's a half fighter. It's not the money you want to be funneling into.
Look at the setup by Kui. You always have the backline, no more safe. So the two big win conditions, right? AoE damage as well as the Sea of Fate to send the most important member home. The moment you don't have that, there is no escape. They will cut you down on the side of HBSE.
I mean, the way that they're able to find that pickoff and then just continue on, the target prioritization from HBSE of just systematically deleting the Nova players is just really next level here.
We prize a lot on towards the side of HBSE players performing really well in Game 1 and Game 2, but we also need to cherish the coaching staff coming in from Homeboys, because Coach Broccoli, every single draft thus far, has outdone Nova Esports, regardless of blue side or red side.
I like this a lot, right? And broccoli is good for your health. So right now, HBSC have benefited from the health benefits of having vegetables in their diet for now in terms of the draft and bans and pick.
Yeah, broccoli is actually good for you, right? That's what we're trying to say.
Like
That's the moral of the story on that one. But HBSC, again, the way that they draft and the execution of this team, really next level. Nova Esports right now, reeling.
Man, it's really tough for Nova as of this point. You think from their perspective here, we lost to this team in the MKL Grand Finals of fall season. 4-0. We lost to this team in the upper bracket finals of KIC 2025 4-1. And right now, at the start of the most important series of the 2025 year, against your long rivals, you're once again down in a 0-2 fashion and not in any close way at all. So it definitely damages their confidence coming into this.
I think this is where you have to really take a look at what is the opportunity, right? Everywhere you look, if you look for an opportunity, you will find it. And of course, this opportunity for you is to go and look for our social media platforms. Once you get the follow in, we'll be able to give you all the good stuff, not just in-game rewards, but also some positive moves going into your future next steps, maybe as a professional or HOK.
Yeah, it could be starting right there. And I mean, you're just going to see exactly not only the Honor of Kings Esports, what's going on in terms of gameplay and those highlights, but also getting some insights in terms of how these players train.
But with that in mind, we do need to really figure out on how Nova Esports can come back into the series itself, because so far it's looking really dire coming in from the MKL second seed. With domination coming in from HBSC, we will soon come into a conclusion whether they can find that series point.
You've walked through the darkest nights. You've heard the crowd, felt the blinding light. You were standing there when your heart comes alive. It's a dream of ahead, and it never dies. Right here, right now, give it all, get it out. Never surrender, I fight and never fail. I am a contender, a challenge I can feel. The smallest lies become the brightest enemies, relentlessly. And even if you fall, you gave it everything to be a king. The smallest lies become the brightest enemies, relentlessly. And even if you fall, you gave it everything to be a king. You carved your way with a sharp attack. You watched it all burn, and you never looked back. There will come a day when your fears will rise. You protect your crown, so it never dies. Never surrender, I fight and never fail. I am a contender, a challenge I can feel. The smallest lies become the brightest enemies, relentlessly. And even if you fall, you gave it everything to be a king. On my way, find my way, find my way. On my way, dream my way, never a surrender. I find it never fail. I'm a contender, and try can feel. The smallest lights become the brightest enemies. Relentlessly, and even if you fall, you gave it everything to be a king. The smallest lights become the brightest enemies. Relentlessly, and even if you fall, you gave it everything to be a king.
Turn it back. Gear out the weapon, getting ready, counting down. Pay attention to the challenge, tell me where you from. Gotta be tough, gotta be strong, gotta be self-reliant animal. Every time you tryna push me down. Look at me, put the line down when I run around. And I make a sign, I will catch you. Watch out, it's better feel, kinda mercy. Look at me, I'll be rising. Carry the season, you gotta calm down, gonna weapon. You never hesitate for another moment, but my bone is golden.
I'm invincible, just let him know. I can show you all the glory I own. To the jungle, find a way to the palace. I'm waiting. Go, live and rock and we go. It ain't a river, turn it back. Storm is coming, light up your cold. It's my kingdom, fire blowing up.
We the kings, it's our honor showtime. Honor kings.
Yes, we gonna burn up.
Honor kings.
On a killing spree, I told you all this. All my enemies, you go silence. Wipe them out for only 6 seconds. We got honor.
You wanna get me juice, kind of the one who made the rules. You have night to choose, only one way, got night to lose.
I gotta shut down. We got no crime. We burn it up as one, crashing pieces you can cheat.
With the back-to-back wins coming in from Homeboys Black Shoe Esports, they are at the verge of getting that series point if they do win this upcoming Game 3. My question is, gentlemen, how does Nova come back from this?
I don't know the answer to that. Because everything I try, I mean, I'm talking about like draft, I'm talking about execution, I'm talking about all these things, but it just looks like HBSE right now have all of the answers to this test.
They just need the real-life Sage's Sanctuary, right? One more time. Fate Rewind, I don't know, whatever that you can find within this, because the two bands and picks coming out from Nova, they have been really strong, really expensive, but still nothing comes to fruition here. So Homeboys, Black True Esport, I think they're well on their way to making things work.
I mean, if you were to look towards the side of Nova's draft from Game 1 and Game 2, yes, logically, it makes a lot of sense because there's a lot of carries here, but Honor of Kings, it's a game with finite resources here. You can't share gold to everybody who is very needy of gold. So for Nova's composition, it has been really greedy in Game 1 and Game 2.
It has been great. And actually, that's why HBSE has made them punish, because they've been more efficient. And then once they have that lead, they've been able to close things out, especially when those mid-game team fights happen.
Mid-game team fights, I think it's really want to call things, because we are
Correct.
seeing 10-minute mark. I feel it's so funny because Nova, in both games, they take the Tyrant, the
Yes.
10-minute Tyrant, but they lose the map across with that take.
I mean, you have to go back to the roots of the problem here. If you cannot maintain your composure and you get caught out on the side lane at the most important timer before 10 minutes, which is about 9 minutes 30 seconds, you lose at a Tyrant fight, you lose out all the objectives, and when losing that, you also lose out your jungle buffs. Immediately, a 1,000 gold lead will expand to a 4,000.
Yeah, it seems very similar, like patterns, right? And you were kind of talking about that 9-minute 30-second mark, because that's kind of when HBSE come online. So in the same way, Nova Esports, if anything, this is a fixable mistake, because it's the same mistake time and time again.
But then that's only the first half of the equation. Maybe not even half, right?
Yeah.
There's even more. It's about wave clear. It's about the team fight potential. What more value can you pull across your composition. That is what Nova needs to solve, but it needs to be a step-by-step. I don't think you'll fix everything in one shot.
To fix step by step as well, we need to dive deep into the global ban picture. If they really cannot fix the drafting issues that they have portrayed so far, going into game, it's already a uneven scale for both of these teams, especially for Nova.
Yeah, but this is one where, again, I think that this is the perfect pick to kind of start this one off. It's all about tempo, going with the Mai here.
Okay, you know what? The one thing that impressed me the most is that for game after game, Zhihong has been holding his own against Wendy. I think that's the most impressive.
Oh my God.
Wendy has been someone that has been a lot of experience in HOK.
And we remember this exact setup coming in from Homeboy's Blackstreet Esports. The moment they see Wendy's Fire Ninja Maestro Nui here, they're like, okay, haven't we taught you this old lesson, old man? I'm sending you again. I'm drafting that white anchor time bender combo here.
Yeah, stop looking at me when you say old man. I am offended, right? I just assume that you're talking about me on that one. But it does make a little bit of sense because this is interesting. We've seen in the past 2 days the rise of the ADA, especially in the Clash lane. It has had quite a bit of impact here.
And it's still a great answer, right? Even with the Guan Yu pick coming in from the side of Xuan, Arthur's ultimate, you can just drop the ghost ship and it blocks his way. Where are you going to go from there?
Oh yeah, they did pseudo counter themselves in this setup, so I am interested to see how Xuan, one of the best Warsame players in this tournament, actually responds towards that. Because like you mentioned here, it's not just about the wall. Wall is number one because we know, yes, Guan Yu isn't able to charge over walls, and number two, the technique of Ada here, the spell 2, when he hooks you, he gets an enhanced basic attack that can also pull you, which disrupts the charge bar coming in from the war scene.
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of, again, it's like they counter themselves, like they're running into a wall. I mean, Chuan is one of the best Guan Yu players out there, but to set it up, and it seemed like HBSC were baiting it out, and they fell for the bait.
And I mean, this is 2 problems that they need to fix. Number one is about, okay, the disruptions available by the side of HBSC. The second one is the fact that they're able to tank through a lot of damage, right? The Mai Shiranui, the Fire Ninja, the whole point of picking this hero is that you want the big burst, you want to get the Ryu engine, the knockups, and a big KO. But when is that gonna happen?
It's difficult, right? Even if you get it, if the Sun Bin gets that perfect spell to press, or we saw how Ze was systematically being able to react to all these Ryu engine plays with the time bomb, immediately the Mai Shiranui gets silenced the moment it enters.
Silence, and then also you have that speed, the time flux to kind of just run away. I mean, this is a repositioning god in that sense. It's going to be super annoying to kind of lock down these guys because they have a decent amount of dash.
Easy 4 zone.
And a bit worried coming in for the side of Nova Esports lineup here. It's a very early to mid-game centric team composition, and if
ចាំមើលប្រូរងគាត់ថាស្រាន់បានគួន E easy win ឥឡូវចាំមើលស្រាន់គាត់បានគួន E ចាំមើល game នេះឈ្នះអត់
melee into a Princess Frost, you know it's going to be difficult.
No way, no way. I mean, look, I play the Princess Frost almost every time. I know about the potentials that the Princess Frost has. Now, with the dive potential by the Dun, by the Guan Yu, with even the Lapu Lapu Flash, everything brings them closer to you, right? And it could cause a situation where the Arta groups everyone together after his enhanced basic attack, and then you get that Frigid Prison, and it's game over. But this is a dream scenario.
That's one of those like a fancy wombo combos, and if everybody hits their spell in a real world, where we always talk about, whoa, fancy engages coming in from one side, but we always don't put focus on how good these team comps coming in from HBSC are able to fight the reactive end, the disengage, the zoning coming in from the Princess Frost, coming from the Sun Bin. That's double circles on towards the ground.
The team fight is real. I mean, I think it's going to be, again, the Princess Frost, Jihong is one of the best, and if they group up is what Nova want to do here, they're going to be heavily punished.
And there's a guaranteed freeze, right? So if the Sun Bin actually drops his ultimate at the right time, you cannot use your spells at all, which means there is no movement. You get that mini stun. That is enough time for you to land the Frigid Prison. And once you know that Frigid Prison is locked on, everyone turns to ice. I mean, ice, baby, it's over.
Bum, 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 bum. No, sorry, gone.
I feel like Nova definitely needs Holler on towards their team here to elevate the mood coming in towards this game tree. But with the drafts being locked in so far, Nova Esports with a very aggressive early game draft, they need to find every single play without mistake here. And on the side of Homeboy's Blackstreet Esports, playing towards Musankake's tempo is exactly what these two teams need to really accomplish this game number 3 in the grand finals of KIC 2025.
Yeah, thank you so much, Saki. As we go into game 3, I mean, going into halftime, being down 0-3, that is an unheard of situation to kind of overcome. I think Nova is in a must-win situation here.
You definitely have to try and break this mental psyche drop, right? Because it's already being a difficult position to be down 2-0. Now against this drop, if HBSE plays it out, the storyline that is continually fed to the side of Nova is that you're not good enough. And they might start to believe it.
Well, here's the thing. I think that Nova Esports, like earlier, the first half of 2025, they did not believe that. They were like the full-on train that was very difficult for any team to kind of take on. But now, ever since HBSE has essentially broken the code that is Nova Esports, I have no answers to that.
Yeah, absolutely zero answers. And right now, Nova, they do have a very, very slight lead. But it's all about the map control, especially adding on to that first blood here. If Nova gets first blooded again, I assure you, homeboys, they're going to make this another very quick, very painful experience.
Yeah, so we go back to Wendy here on this mine. Is he able to get those rotations? Because they need that pick off to start, and Waypick gets the nice little charge. They actually find him, but Musan King, he wants a little bit more. He's going to get Wind Slash just for his troubles, but they're continuing to skirmish in the mid lane. CY going in for this one. They set up the ghost ship. The Wind Slash is not going to hit, but now CY is in a bad spot, taking a decent amount. The Gale's Benediction with those shields will keep him alive.
But I tell you, it's all about the setup, right? Everything is to make life easier for Zhihong. Once he gets those frigid prisons down, it's so hard to get a bit. And you also have additional damage. He's going to use his ultimate to try and push away Strand, and that's going to be successful.
Oh, they find him, and it looks like Zhihong is in a bad spot. Waypit, just a couple more. Zhihong is wrapping around. He's going to give up first blood, but Wendy finding that one out, and Waypit with the Lapu. Lapu is doing some serious work. Musan King trying to lock him in with that ghost ship, but Schwan with that heroic charge pushing him back. CY's got that Wind Slash as well. Unruly Blade, CY wants to go aggressive. He wants to continue on, and Guyu with the flash away.
All right, beautiful start for the side of Nova. We were talking about what the win conditions for HBSE were, but we did not cover Nova, and this is exactly what you need. You need the first blood, you need to funnel it into Wendy, you need to make sure your early game is there.
Yeah, but now a little bit low, the Ru Engine on back, but now the winner is here. They find Wendy. He was trying to be aggressive, and he paid with his life.
Yep, this is where, look, the silence coming from Zhe with the Winter is here by Zhihong is so damaging. You slow them down, damage over time. You also have the silence, you don't get to use your common spells as well. So a little bit difficult, and even if he had flash there.
Rồi mẹ buồn sâu này, mẹ trên buồn sâu nữa, phai nó là.
Do you like circles, right? Because I think that this lineup is all about them. The zones are absolutely real.
They're throwing shapes out, making sure that, you know whose house this is my street.
We'll just continue on. And I mean, Nova Esports right now dancing around, finding Jeff, and he's in a bad spot. The winner is here, is going to be stacked on, but they finally get that pick off on Jeff.
Beautiful move. I mean, the movement by Zhihong to try and make the save, that was a thing of beauty. But for Nova, thankfully, they are very tanky, and at this point, BB.
Oh, they have the charge. BB with that light step. He's going to get back to safety. Something that's a little underrated by him, but Schwan in a bad spot. He's going to have to go on the other side. CY is joining up. Musan King gets the pick. CY was a little too late. He's going to Unruly Blade on back.
They need to get rid of the EJ if they can.
Waypit gets that charge, but BB doing some work. Waypit's going to be picked off, and now Wendy, he's in a bad spot. He wants to go for Zhihong. He does get the kill. They turn this around. They find on the Jet, and Nova Esports are running it, but the speed, the time flux, and now it looks like they're going to continue. They find Muchi and Musan King angry, not able to catch Wendy.
Yeah, but they keep pulling the trades. That's the biggest thing for the 4 in terms of kill score. And HBSE, they're starting to pull a little bit further away, close to 1,000 gold at this point, not yet there. But we start to see the gaps are showing Nova. No answer still.
But they're fighting, right? And it's within 600 gold. They're trying to take the initiative, something that we haven't seen too much because they were more passively farming. This is a little bit different from Nova because they understand the urgency in this game.
Make a steal here or something. It's not going to happen. HBSE will get away with that. So first Tyrant of the game goes in the hands of HBSE, also funneling the first Crimson Gold into the hands of BB here. This is going to be first trade, which means BB on this early is going to be a big problem.
It's going to be definitely a big problem here. Nova Esports, on the other hand, letting Muchi take the Crimson here, let him kind of accelerate his farm and kind of push things along. Wendy is in the enemy jungle. I like this because you need vision and you want to put the pressure on, but you want dying in the top lane solo.
This is not ideal for the side of Nova here. They need to find those solutions to this problems at this point. And it looks like they just have too many things going on, right? They have the time flux from Zhe saving them, giving the help rebate. At the same time, the freezes coming from Zhong as they're on par. And CY, he's just getting kited to death right now.
Yeah, that's got to be super frustrating. But the Unruly Blade now decides to go on, but Vivi sidesteps that one like a maestro. And CY taking a decent amount. Vivi all by himself, he doesn't care. He'll take on anyone.
Yep, which is the cause of concern, right? At this point in the game, with a level advantage, CY is supposed to be able to tank against Vivi, but it's not happening. At this point, that's because of the Crimson buff.
Yeah, the Crimson buff is actually real. I mean, the amount of damage that he's able to do, just way too much.
And plus, the Doomsday, that's the big thing, right? The percentage health damage, that is a real killer against CY who's on the duel.
Yeah, he has a lot of HP, right? That's the biggest counter for him. And now HBSE, Busan King, what's he trying to do? He's trying to bait them out, maybe potentially just turn with the counter initiation.
This is just buying time, right? Because Muchi has no time to fight. Unless Muchi gets his hands on the Doomsday, he cannot deal the same kind of damage against Busan King. And when you can't deal with Busan King...
they find a nice little charge. Waypit with a nice little Raging Sea, finding him, but now Waypit is a little bit low. They find it, and Sean going in for this one, gets the pickup. 2 members down, and they're looking to trade on this. Wendy trying to dash away, but he's gonna be chased. He somehow survives, gets under the tower, and he will get back, but it's just gonna continue on with CY going on to Guyu. The wind slash with that slam dunk, but they have a numbers advantage, and Musan King, and here comes VV. CY all by himself, and he's being punched around. The pinball is too much, and HBSE take out CY.
This one hurts the Nova fans. They were looking good for the moment. Muchi survived, Wendy survived, but still, they got the life of CY, and at this point, Muchi, maybe this is the turnaround. He just got a Doomsday.
Yeah, but Muchi right now, he was kind of moving around a bit, not able to find that farm, but with this potential space, he has it, but they're still 1.5k behind.
Yeah, look, it's just about the timing, right? And for now, Muchi has arrived at the timing, Crimson buff in hand, Doomsday on hand. We'll take a look at the instant replay, right? This is where the fight restarted. Very nice ultimate by the side of Waypit to get the separation in the fight. Xuan as well as Wendy did very well to get the initial kills on the Zhihong as well as Zhe. But the problem here, Guyu and Vivi are your main damage dealers, and when they're left alone, and with CY, he may be mobile, but he's not as mobile as this picks.
I mean, nobody can really fight 1 versus 3. Let's be very honest. CY is definitely not that critical mass of just like that tank that can take on everyone else. HBSE did such a good job with their positioning, taking him away because, again, he had no answers. He couldn't get it out.
Yeah, and at that point, when you are in that position, you know that there's no escape, right? You have to take the punches. You have to go in. Because regardless of the situation, you are going to take a fall. So the only thing you can do is to try and extend the duration.
Yeah, now HBSE, they're going to look to push this mid lane. And Nova Esports still 1.8 behind, but this is the thing that they need to do. They need to take some of the towers. They're being out-macroed in the end.
Yeah, take a look at Muchi. Muchi's position is the one that's supposed to pull out right now.
Busan King, he gets stunned here. The Blue Engine onto it. They get the pushback. Busan King, though, still very tanky. And now he actually outlasts that one. Waypit got stuck with that ghost ship. He's going to charge on back. They tried to go in with the flash away. Juan with the Soaring Green Dragon, but Waypit has already been killed. 5 members from HBSE still standing. They've taken 2 members. Make that 3 with CY going down.
Yep, this game is not looking good at all. Wendy does make it out together with Muchi, but the T1's in the mid. This one is the one that is in trouble. They don't care about your life. They care about the turrets.
Yeah, they're going to take this one down for free, right? Nova, with only 2 members, there's no way you can kind of defend this one. The Vanguards are pushing through all 3 lanes. HBSE in full control.
Yep, they are feasting at this point. It's a buffet. The jungle, okay, they
get
the knockup.
They find Jihong. He got caught out. Wendy needs to do that like 10 more times and they win this.
Yeah, and I mean, the timing on this, HBSE, not too much damage to them because if you take a look at the T1 at the bottom, already taken as well. T2 on the top, now being put under pressure. So Nova, even when they are trying to get the wins, they get a nice kill on Zhihong, they're still losing.
Yeah, still losing. I mean, it's the macro game, the way that HBSE are choking them out. The map control is genuinely real by HBSE.
Yep, and what a timing to achieve it as well. Now they have to try and, fight with scraps, take whatever that's left behind by HBSE, and 10 minutes is going to arrive soon. HBSE will have prior positioning.
Look at Guyu. 303, Musan King 302. Both of these guys setting it up, and they find CY, who has to Unruly Blade, gets past the ghost ship.
Just nice, just a bit shy. And Zhe can keep throwing his out. The cooldown is ridiculously short at this point. He can try and bait the players in from the side of Nova.
Look at Guyu looking to wrap around. He's been chased by Wendy. Wendy, this is the Kachusin though. Guyu is still there. Waypit looking for the right angle, but mind you, Vivi is not in this fight.
Yeah, this is the scary part.
ใช่ไหมเกมนี้แม้Blackstreet Sport គេធ្វើឲ្យ Nova ឈ្នះមកទៅណា
CY now in a very peculiar position. They have found
គេ
a way
គេឲ្យយក 4-0 ណា
He's in a bad spot.
Okay,
the winner is here, just
bro.
kind of going in. The zone is real, but Waypit with the charge on back. Muji actually has the flash, but they're being chased. The ghost ship with not able to catch anybody.
They don't really care. It's about pushing them away. They don't get the kills, that's fine. We'll take the Shadow Tyrant instead. 10 minutes and 45 seconds. And this is all looking like HBSE homeboys. This is their home now.
Yeah, this is their home. They're taking over the Nova Esports. They're planting the flag. They will take that one. They take the Tyrant. They take the Crimson. They've taken all of the cookies away. They've taken everything.
Exactly, and right now, that is the story. Nova, they don't have any response. Silence coming in.
Yeah, Musan King was looking to go. Guyu was looking for the flank as well, but just space away. Zoning. It's so smart by HBSC.
Yeah, it's occupying space. That is the most important in the God, right? Once you have control of that space, now you get to plan what you want to do next. And Zhihong is going to be that big marker. T2 at the bottom, taken down. Homeboys extend their reach.
Oh, now they have a little bit stun on Deja, but the Raging Sea is on point.
Oh, what the fuck?
On the run. They actually find it. CY is just trying to outtake this, but
Oh my
It
god.
doesn't look like they continue on fighting. CY's there, trying to fight this, but he gets stumped on.
my god.
HBSC with 2 members up. They will take the bottom T3.
វ៉ាឡាពូអូត្រូវទាំងអស់ទេចេះ
Wide open, the Crystal is wide open. Guyi as well.
Oh, they're looking to go. That winner is here. The zone is real by HBSC. They will kind of put this pressure on. They find it. The way pitchers with the heroic.
ណា3-0 អូខេដល់ប្រហែល 4-0 មក
Another convincing one. 3-0 Nova and Death
Trời
Squad
ơi.
in this grand finals of KIC 2025.
Do you smell it? It's near. The KIC trophy is so near for the side of
អូ
Homeboys.
trời ơi ô fan Homeboy
One more
អូ
win, and they will claim the trophy here. Nova Esports, where is the power coming in from this roster? Because it's looking so grim for them.
HBSC right now. I mean, the way that they're playing, it's just like Nova Esports. They go back to the drawing board. They go back into the room, and they're like, "How do we deal with this? We are completely behind. This is a snowball that's
that's crazy.
Every single draft that has been executed coming in from the side of Homeboys Blackstreet Esports has been far superior in every single aspect. We talk about during the drafting, it always has an advantage towards the side of HBSC. That's fine. In the game, every single skirmish coming in from the laning phase all the way to the mid game has always been in the advantageous side for the side of HBSC. So Nova, they're being bested out of the game and in the game.
Advantages is one thing, but you have to bear in mind that this competition is not easy to play at all, right? The skill set required to be able to execute these heroes at the highest level against a team like Nova, they just make it look easy. This is actually one of the toughest lineups to play properly. To get those consistent freezes, to get the hook backs with your enhanced attack by Musan King. These are all very difficult to achieve in real time, especially in a pressurizing situation against Nova.
Is there a better time for HBSC to finally hit that stride, right? Ever since the MKL finals, it seems like this team is like nigh indestructible.
Totally. We look towards the condition that you're in. MKL Grand Finals 4-0, KNC champions, and coming into this, almost going for that three-peat in the back-to-back Grand Finals. And right now, with a convincing 3-game streak, they haven't suffered a single loss here. You can hear the fans cheering for both of these teams.
Yeah, a very big marker of success as well. And we will have more support coming in for the side of Nova and HBSC.
And of course, with the support that we're getting thus far in the venue itself, you know something is coming up for this halftime show.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this one. I mean, look, I'm wondering if SB19 has this halftime show and somehow channels power into Nova and they're able to come back from this series, because right now things are looking very dire.
Oh my god, we are also excited for the performance that will be coming soon in a bit here. But let's put our focus on towards this game tree itself. It wasn't easy at the very least for Nova Esports. We talked about this on how their early game has to win.
Alright, so we'll cover the gold here, and you can see that very deep dive into Homeboys. This is where they secure the resources, get the kills, turn around the situation over and over again. We'll also take a look at that 1v1 matchup, because that is where the game was won from the side of HBSC.
Yeah, actually, VV, I mean, there were Busan King. There was constantly moments where they were able to just take them on, right? And they were not afraid, and you're seeing just the confidence from HBSE and how they're taking it to Nova
Buôn sound please,
Esports
buôn
here.
sound please, buôn sound please, buôn sound please, buôn sound please.
Game number 4, they need to
Buôn sound
compose
gonna be
themselves.
crazy,
I
bro.
know, very difficult, but you're at Dev's stores here. Every single thing that you do need to make the most value out of it. Go out with a bang.
Yep, so this is what the difference, right? The amount of space VV was given by his team was just so much more from the side of Homeboys Blackthrough Esport. And this is where VV really shines. 7-1 in 8. You could see him, but you couldn't touch him.
You could not at all. I mean, VV, this is that moment where you're like, hey, actually, nobody is better than me. I think that he's hit that confidence, especially in the grand finals. Perfect time, perfect place.
To be in this position right now, HBSE, like Holler mentioned, they are in the perfect condition right now. They need to lose 4 games in a row, by the way. They are at match series point and only 1 game. With such a superb form, defer them from that KIC 2025 trophy and to claim victorious in a successful half year of this HOK Esports here. But let's do check out Game 3's MVP here. Another one for Guiyu. He's going for that title.
Yeah, Guiyu played fantastically in this game. With the space they bought for VV, he was also another menace to the side of Nova, right? He was unseeable, untargetable, and this was a beautiful game. 4-0-7, Fatih, the mighty conqueror.
And so far in the head-to-head matchup between both Xuan and also the side of Guiyu, he's been totally outclassing Nova Xuan in every single aspect.
Just too much Guiyu in the end. I mean, HBSE, they're doing whatever they want. They're going for all those backline access, gank attempts. It seems like Nova Esports are now reeling. Again, they actually are picking all the comfort heroes, but HBSE are like 3 steps ahead going into the draft.
That's the thing. We prize the players. We also need to give gratitude and recognition over to the drafters here. The coaching staff are so good here, and you can hear the crowd roaring because they know what's coming up. It will be the halftime show coming in from SB19 that will be coming in shortly here. Kid, do you think the SB19 show will actually give a bit of a breathing room for the side of Nova coming in towards the series?
It has to be, because they are called Burn the Flames. This is where everything needs to happen. I mean, rile yourself up because the heat is only going to rise, and we're going to get a lot more.
I mean, I'm excited. Like, everyone in the right now have got all their cameras out right now. Everybody understanding that they have SB19, and it could be good for both. I mean, Nova Esports, right? They needed a bit of a timeout.
Okay, now we need a breather here. We're panning over to the audience here. Oh, there's Linger and also Cat. Welcome to the venue here, and also Nove here coming in from JDG.
Trời, tại một trận em quá.
And I mean, you guys can hear it. I'm very sure you guys can see it as well. Everyone is getting ready. They can kind of see someone is peeking from behind the stage. The fans are expectant of this, and you can see all of the action. We will have it very, very soon.
Well, we have a special guest for you, ladies and gentlemen, here, and they are ready to bring you one of the best shows so far that you will find here in Manila, Philippines here.
Yeah,
Ai,
actually, I got my
special
dancing
gái cho
shoes
một
'cause
chút
I'm
copy
ready
này
for
cho
SB19's
Gia
halftime
ơi.
But man, being able to, as a Filipino and also someone residing in Philippines, you definitely know who is SB19s here. So for everyone in the crowd itself, you can hear from our microphones here how excited they are to see their boys really bring up the show, and especially Burn the Flames. It's by them.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard this has topped the Philippine charts as well. That's really cool for an esports game. And this song, of course, SB19, they are no strangers to fame, no stranger to success, which is something that we want to explore in this grand finals today. We will definitely get it. Now, the question is, everyone is waiting. I'm waiting as well. Where is SB19?
They'll be coming up. Okay, hold your horses.
Hold your horses.
No, I'm not going to hold my horses. I want to...
You have your flowers and everything. I know that you're going to waiting for them to actually perform on stage, but we will be getting there. Like the crowd right now, it's palpable. Everybody is looking to go, and I think that we'll be going very soon. It looks like they're walking in on the side right now.
You can hear the crowd. It's so electrifying right now. If you can come over to the side of Ayala Mall at the Manila Bay here in Philippines, Manila, you will be in for a treat because SB19, if you're nearby, they will be performing live in a few moments here. But Kin, how does Nova come back from this? Does SB19 breathe signs of life into them?
They need to burn the flames. I mean, at this point, the fire is in their hearts. They need to see how they rise that heat to make it too hot for HBSE to handle.
Well, with that being said right now, Nova is in a very difficult situation in this best of 7 series right now. The Supernovas may face into an explosion, which is a bad one that may put them out of KIC 2025 in a second place position. But good news for HBSE. They are right now in the driver's seat with series point on hand, but
Hello,
with this upcoming break, do they take on the challenge?
Trời mai sao sai bẩn flame cho copyright ơi.
Kings, it's an honor showtime. Kings, it's an honor showtime.
Mà copyright cho ra. Hello, đã gas rồi. Hello. Copyright cho gì vậy? Gì? Nhóm name PH 70 name PH quá. Nơi lơ comment đi mới khơi tờ user name mà khơi chung hề. Bờ xua tháp bụng mơ like cái này likeประกวด on kênh KIC แต่เลยนี่เกดอลเวียประกวดดนตรีโอเคดอลเกประกวดดนตรีนี่จับบังเกแต่เลยแวะนั่งต่อ cho copyright á video này like kia một cuốn là lôi qua cho miệng là hai
แต่ตอนที่กินการเกี่ยวกับตอนชวนเราทำไมถึงเคยนั่นเลย
Kumusta yung performance namin? Sabi nila H okay daw. H okay. It's okay. Pero bago kami magsimula ulit, gusto lang namin magpakilala. Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. Ako nga po pala si Pablo. Hi everyone, my name is Stel. Hi everyone, I'm Justin. Hello everyone, I'm Josh. Hello everyone, I'm Ken. Of course we are SB19! Ayala, 18. Kamusta naman yung first performance namin ng Burn the Flame? Parang medyo mahina. Kamusta yung performance namin? For sure, nagustuhan nila yan. Salamat, salamat.
Tsaka, grabe. Parang naka-million streams agad to.
Ah, talaga?
Oo.
Alam ko, ano pa siya eh. Yung sales worldwide na cup niya.
Oo.
Pang-pito ba yun? Pang-4?
Hindi
Pang-4.
ko na maalala, pero...
Pero maraming salamat sa suporta niyo sa SB19, sa kanta, and syempre sa HOK. Para po sa mga hindi nakakaalam, yung Burn the Flame po is the official soundtrack of Honor of Kings. So sana po nagustuhan niyo yung performance.
Yes. Sayang, di ka sumali, pre. Dapat sumali ka. Sana nakaabot tayo sa finals, di ba?
Sayang eh.
Pero we just want to congratulate everyone, of course, for the finalists and sa lahat ng lumahok dito sa
Ay,
home country. Balita ko hindi syempre nakapasok ang home country, but next time, alam naman natin palag-palag yan. But we're very thankful. We just want to syempre take this opportunity to, of course, promote our upcoming tour. It's gonna be this week na. We're gonna be going to Australia. That's gonna be on December 5 at Melbourne Town Hall. And so December 6, Sydney at Northwest Convention Center. December 12, Auckland, the Trust Arena. December 14 at Red Hill Auditorium.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And the tickets are available at humanitix.com for Melbourne, Sydney, and Auckland. And also visit mushtix.com for Perth. So yeah, I hope you can get your tickets.
May gusto lang akong tanong, napakinggan nyo na ba yung The First Take performances namin? Napanood nyo na yung Dam? How about Time? Oh, na-enjoy nyo ba yung performance namin sa The First Take? Yeah, and to those na hindi pa napapanood yung performances namin sa The First Take, you can listen to our performance sa TFT YouTube channel. And kung yung mga friends nyo hindi pa napapanood, send nyo sa kanila yung link para mapanood nila. Yes, that's right.
And of course, gusto ko pa rin magpasalamat sa lahat ng nakinig ng Burn the Flame. And syempre, nakasali siya sa Billboard World Digital Sales. Kaya maraming salamat sa inyo lahat. 18, especially sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat. And of course, gusto niyo pa ba na isa?
Of course.
I say you guys want more! Let's go for our next song. This one's called Dunka. Let's go!
Trời cái nào bao giờ miệng thì ra toàn vài buồn sâu này. What is top? Năm khỏi bên ai dọc khe vung bắn ăn này rồi. Chăm khỏi bên bạc quất sải sải đi đây.
energy nyo dito.
Yes.
Thank you so much, W3. Thank you.
I'm just very thankful. It's such a wonderful opportunity. Nako, batay tayo dyan. Just so you know, dalawa lang po ang prepared namin. Gusto nyo pa ba?
Gusto nyo pa ba?
You guys are gonna get us tired, huh?
Pero, we just have one request. One request. Pag mag-iisa pa kami, pwede bang sumayaw ang lahat?
Well,
Pero, but, no pushing. Wala pang magtutulakan. We want everyone to enjoy the moment, especially people on the second floor, third, fourth, fifth. Wala pang magtutulakan, okay? 18, is that
Yes.
okay?
everyone's okay to dance and enjoy as long as no one gets hurt, okay? Safety first, okay? Pero we want your energy to go up, okay? Okay, let's try. Do you want more? Mahina pa, yung pinakamalakas. Gusto niyo pa ba ng isa?
Pero, bago tayo umisa, syempre, we want to thank all the people who's here today. And, syempre, of course, thank you, Honor of Kings, and good luck to Homeboys and Nova sa championship.
Yes,
maraming
congratulations.
salamat po for having us here. HOK family, thank you so much. We are very happy to spend the day with 18. Masaya ba kayo nakasama kami? Parang di kayo masaya. Masaya ba? Yun pala eh.
Lahat ba ng tao dito nag-HOK na? Sigurado kayo?
1v1 daw kayo ni Pao.
1v1, oh.
Okay.
Hindi, sige. Kasi madalas nag-stream kami tapos naglalaro kami online. Kung sino yung magkataon makalaro sana namin, laro tayo ng HOK. Parang di naman naglalaro yung mga tao dito.
Hindi.
O
Hindi ka nila
natatakot
ata
na?
naririnig.
Marami naglalaro dyan. Nakakalaro ko yung mga yan. Dinudurog ko lahat yan eh. Hindi, pero no joke. I'm really thankful. It's a great opportunity for us kasi personally, I'm a gamer. So it's one of my dreams to sing for this event. And syempre, nare-represent natin ang Filipino talent, di ba? But, di na natin patatagalin ba? Do you want more? Lahat kakanta. Lahat sisigaw. You're not just gonna stare there and do nothing and put your phones up. You all are gonna enjoy, okay? Let's do it one more time.
Right, let's get it.
Let's go!
We go
down with the double crosses, just super no need no. We so cool, don't you? Alam mo na what's up, I'm speaking to you. Para mo na lang blue, kasi ka na lang reason. I don't wanna make it rain. Think I'm out there, I'll get there. Baby, I'm insane. I got busted in my name. 1, 2, 1, 2, that's okay. Cause I ain't losing this game.
Thank you.
Muli, nagpapasalamat kami sa HOK, sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa HOK, 18 and everyone who's in here. Muli, ako po si Pablo.
Ako po si Justin.
Ako po si Stel.
Ako po si Josh.
At ako si Ken.
Kami ang
SB19.
Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, W3!
Thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you, everyone! Have a great night. We love you!
We're no strangers to the fallout. It's what got us here. Ever changing, some chameleon. Blood, sweat, and tears. We'll never make it if we fall to everything that brings us down.
Mà coi sao cái bay bắt mình là coi chăm thấy chăm bua phèm tì điện. Ok.
Blood, sweat, and tears. surrender. I fight and never fail. I am a contender. A challenge I can feel. The smallest lies become the brightest enemies. Relentlessly. And even if you fall, you gave it everything to be a king. The smallest lies become the brightest enemies. Relentlessly. And even if you fall, you gave it everything to be a king.
Wow, that was an electrifying show coming in from none other than SB19 themselves. I'm telling you, HOK fans, we eat well. We get concerts like this and a mall. And what more could you ask for here?
I mean, at this point, a reverse sweep. I mean, I think that that's the only thing. I mean, if we're talking about the series and going back to the grand finals on this one. But Nova Esports, honestly, the only thing that could be more hype than what we just saw from SB19 is, of course, that reverse sweep.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
but
God,
four
yes.
games in a row, I think that's a tough and tall mountain to climb. We'll see if they're going to be able to do that because everything needs to be done step by step. And I mean, they've already done 3 drafts. All 3 tries
Oh,
have
God.
been denied by HBSC. Let's see what else do they have left in the tank.
It's very difficult, especially after these 3 games. Number one, yes, draft has been not the best so far. Is it playable? Yes. Is it optimal? Not so, but can you still carry on a game? Yes, but the problem is, every single 9-minute mark, all the team fights has been bested by HBSC against Nova Esports here. Every single moment that they want to go for those big tyrant fights, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist at all. And it seems like at 9 p.m. or 9 o'clock in this point, it's pretty much when HBSC are like the monsters that come out and just take over the game at that point.
Yeah, ding, 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 knockout with the bunch. And it feels like that has been the game for the first 3 games in this series. Now, with the last chance, HBSC, they don't want to smear, they don't want to blemish on this record. It has to be the one game to complete the entire round and finish off as the 4-0 clean sweep champions.
And what better way of doing it than to redeem themselves from the not so great spring season that they had? You could argue like, hey, they got second in spring, but the EWC run, the Honor of Kings World Cup run, it wasn't their greatest suit here compared to what they achieved in the year of 2024. So now, at the brink of the final game, for them to hold up the KIC trophy, they are one more game away. This is series point for HBSC.
You ban the Pei, you ban the Athena, you take the Lapu Lapu, I think the job is done.
I don't even think you need to ban the Athena at this point, because if Nova picks it, they can't pick it, because in this way of picking Athena, it puts them into a peculiar situation where are you in the right mental state to actually play it to a perfect early to mid game?
I agree with that, but HBSC, they've taken the blue side, right? Nova have taken the counter pick side. They want the red to see if there's any counter picks they can have. And I feel like Lapu Lapu is on the cards here. The Reef Heart Datu is going to be the killer blow against Nova. But Nova does have some chance. They just need to play extremely clean, no mistakes.
Yeah, one step at a time, right? We don't talk about big reverse sweeps first. We talk about how they can breathe sign of life back into this game number 4. And we look into these situations here. First thing first, get yourself a, I would say, equal draft. Allow your players to be in this ease of mind, because just now, Game 3 and Game 1, the drafts were okay, a lot of heavy picks, but the execution just wasn't there. And that really damages your players going into this final series point.
All right, so we have our opinions, we have our thoughts. Let's put them and take a look at what the facts are. HBSC, they're going to be blue side. They're going to get the first pick in this best of 7. We are at series point, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. HBSC, they start off with a deep cut. No Pei, no Tigers.
Yep, this pick has been one of the best so far in terms of what we say, the main character energy in that jungle department here. You get all the resources, but if you make one mistake, it's over for you. But today, Musang King has been splendid on towards that. And then we go back to the Athena pick that we talk about here. Once again, remove from the pool. Now, if you're Nova Esports and you are on the red side here, what do you ban? The Arlie or the Luna?
I think you take out the Arlie, you give them the Luna. You do have stress left to be able to deal with it.
Oh my god, and considering the fact that if you do give over the Luna, Musang King is on fire just now. So hopefully, there we go, right? You don't want Musang King to get on his signature Luna here, which gives HBSC an even more comfortable position. Because we saw out of the 3 games, Muji already burned through 3 farm laners here. Lone, Parasola, and also Magistrate. All the top tier farm laners removed from the pool. This gives BV a direct access into that pack leader.
Okay, but a lot of CC offered by Nova at this point, right? So the Zhangfei, the B is going to be picked up by the side of Nova, or at least hovering over it. Confirmed now. You also have the Mayin by Xuan. This is going to be a very big pick because the crowd control offered by the side of Nova is significant. Even if you're a channel, you won't be able to get out. But how do you get past the big shield in the front that is going to be the Mankey, that is going to have the Sea of Fate as a saver option as well?
And this is a HBSB special coming in from 2024 year here. Before the release of Floorborn Tank, they were the team here to really play this Monkey Da Qiao combination here. And this Da Qiao is very flexible. It can go over to Ze, it can go over to the side of Zihong here. It depends on how they want to flex this in towards the game itself. But I'm liking this as well, coming from Nova Esports here. They are amping up the early game tempo. They are fighting on equal grounds at this pace.
I would say uneven grounds because the release is one of the fastest jungling spells ever, and Nova should have a quicker pace in that jungle department. At the same time, the damage output, you can kind of shred tanks when the cards are being played right. So we see Nova, what else can they add on to this formula? What do they take away from the side of Homeboys, Black True Esports to allow the potential of this draft to shine?
Bên của Châu bên đây nè.
It's a great pick because you don't want extra lives to work through. Mankey is already tough enough as it is.
And that is correct here. And with the
bên A của Đấu đang pick Hino tranh máu này.
You start to have to wonder here, yes, Nova Esports, you have a fantastic early to mid game. Right now, where does your late game come from? Because looking at the first 3 games, you have already burned through some of the best picks in the mid and farm role.
Very comfortable picks by Nova Esports. I mean, the damage is going to be the key one to really kind of round out this draft. They need an important farm laner here for Muji to really carry them in this one.
I feel like in the clash lane for the side of Homeboys, Black True Esports, if you get a diver, Guyu has used the Charlotte. So someone else, whoever that can dive, will be a big problem on the side for the Agudo. When she drops the furball down, that chase down kill potential immediately increases.
I think potentially we can look into the eyes of the Byron here. A strong side lane helping you ease out Monkey's pressure in that early game, because Monkey's early game, not the greatest suit, but if you do allow him to scale towards that mid game, it will be a much stronger tank that we look at.
Yeah, and that Monkey's going to be a problem, but at the same time, you're looking at the Nova side. They picked up one of the best damage dealers, especially in the mid lane with this Gon and Mo, really shoring up some of the weaknesses. Now with that farm laner, they'll be well balanced.
And take a look at this. I don't think you see the portrait of the hero here, but that's a Lu Bu, the Immortal Warrior being hovered coming in from the side of HBSC.
Oh, what? Arthur?
No way, no.
That would be a great answer. Honestly. Okay, why? Because Arthur's first skill gets a silence. There's a lot of stun potential with the ultimate as well. And more to complement, there is a lot of control. But okay, they're just
my god. For a moment there, I actually thought he was locking that Arthur in, but he's pulling with us. He knows we are talking about it. But this will be the Yang Jian and also Mo Zi being the final lock in here, coming in from the side of Homeboys, Black True Esports. And also, it reminds me, the last time that Guyu had the Yang Jian on his hands, he had a quadra kill against Nova.
Yeah, I saw the Arthur and I was like, okay, they got entranced by the SB19 music and they're like, we'll just play this like a rank game. We'll just play some random heroes like Arthur.
Oh, Arthur is actually a good answer, but it's a huge risk nonetheless. Now, with that being said, Nova, do they go for the swap on the jungle? Does the Agudo go into the farm lane instead?
I do think that they're hovering into the Agudo of going into that jungle role for the side of CY. Hence, you see a lot of the selection coming in from Weipit for his marksman. It will be the Garo coming in for this potential final game.
I mean, the silence arrow is definitely going to be very useful. Late game, she shreds tanks like a hot knife through butter. But can they even reach the late game at this point?
Yeah,
I'm a bit worried.
That's going to be the #1 target here. I mean, Garo, I'm not a huge fan. You're going up against Chano, who's like a 60% win rate. They have a lot of options, especially with the Da Qiao getting themselves out.
Đai vàng. Sát tại đai vàng.
Going to be very useful, right? In the later parts of this game, because you have more to that does with shield values. And I mean, with that being said though, can you really last past the first 4 minutes, the 10-minute mark?
That's possible. First 4 minutes is still acceptable as long as you don't lose the lane. But so far, with how the 3 games has been going, every single 9-minute mark has been successfully won over by the side of HBSC in forbidding any form of contention on those shadow objectives.
Yeah, that will be key. I think going into this one, and you're seeing just this nice, another good draft by HBSC, but if the early game kind of spikes in favor of Nova Esports, they might be able to roll down some towers, especially with this Agudo here, which could be a problem.
Maybe, right? Because look, I know about this experience. When the Garos I meet in rank, they're always very powerful, but the Garo on my teams are super not so powerful.
Yeah,
right?
terrible.
So I want to see Nova. I like this draft. We'll see how it goes.
It's a flip of a coin here to decide whichever it goes for this Garo here, as Kid mentioned here. But hey, let's leave it towards the Gorge to settle the score between Homeboys Blackstreet Esports. Currently, match point on hand. One more win will send them to that KIC 2025 trophy here. So for Nova Esports, this is your only shot in fighting back into the series.
Scary situation for Nova Esports. Obviously being down 0-3, match point, everything looking good for HBSC. But this halftime break, it could not have been more fortuitous for Nova Esports because they needed a breather.
Oh, definitely. They definitely needed a breather, right? And with the reset, let's see whether they can do anything about it. They need the rebirth of energy. They need to reassess the situation at this point.
Oh, they're going for the gank attempt. The cannon blast only catching him out. And Wave Pit, though, it should be fine, although he took a lot of damage. Woo.
Yeah, that was a little too close for comfort. But at the same time, Nova have been making the moves on the other side of the map. Wendy will get that steal on the Spiketail Beast, meaning they have a little bit of EXP going towards the mid lane of Nova.
Yeah, you gotta put pressure in one of the lanes. It looks like the top lane is the choice by Nova Esports, as they've kind of rotated Wendy across, starting with that Space Sprite. And again, you need any sort of edge that you can get.
Yeah, right now it's just about 100 gold. Gonna be cut down straight to half at this point, as HBSC, they have found a little window of opportunity to make better rotations right now, and they will wrestle back this 200 goal lead.
I mean, this is the thing about Nova, though. They do fine in the early game. It's not that problem. It's more of that again, the 9-minute marker. That has got to be the scariest number for Nova because they always start losing at that point.
True, but it's going to get even more difficult if a first blood goes against them. So Nova needs to be very careful. My concern is for Muji's life. He needs to be in the safest of positions. The Leaping Savior does give you a shield, but can it save your life?
Yeah, it's all about positioning on the Garo, right? I mean, it's stock standard. You know where things are going to go, but at the same time, the Silent Arrow, if you're able to set that up, you deny a lot from HBSC, like those Sea of Fates, the Hound Away potentially from Guyu. You have a lot of options, but you got to make sure your timing is on point.
Yeah, and talking about timing, Wendy, I think there's tremendous pressure on him. If his gun and mode does not come up with damage, does not get accurate, it's not going to be a nice situation to experience for the side of Nova.
Yeah, because he's got to be there. He's got to stay alive. He's got to do that damage. Those blades are key because HBSC, the way that this lineup is built, they might be able to out-sustain you, especially with a Menki in the front lane with Muzan King.
The biggest part is not just out-sustaining, right? They can even reset, get the TP back, and then finish the fight. And that is a horrendous
Come on, man. Buôn sâu này gì?
Nova. That situation will only stop when Muji gets the late game 6 slotted.
Yeah. A long team fight goes even longer, which is not great for Nova Esports because they don't really have a whole lot of the sustaining damage from Wendy, assuming he stays alive, but the catch from HBSC, the way that they're able to get to the back line is going to be a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, later on, I'm very sure VV will be building the Succubus cloak as well. Zhe should follow suit. Even Zhihong. Right? And at this point, we'll see what this is going to be like, because Wendy's life is now the critical point for Nova. If Wendy finds success, he will build a success for Muji, of which when Wendy and Muji are a tag team duo of power, I don't think HBSE wins this.
Okay, all right. In terms of the series, this game, like, you're saying that all eyes kind of on Wendy to really perform in this one?
Yeah, for sure, right? He needs to be that piercing blade.
Yeah.
If he can't get the cut, no one else can.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be all on him. At the same time, he needs to stay alive. Not going to be easy to do, if anything. And also see why. He's on this Agudo. He wants to be slow rolling. He's a tanky frontliner, and they need to keep him alive.
Yeah, and long extended fights for now don't really work in favor of Nova, right? The Agudo
tờ lôi chởn ở khang Blackstreet Esports game ឈ្នះហើយ ប៉ុន្តែដឹង game គេឲ្យលេខ 4-0 ណាត់
Looking to just kind of fortify fortify the area with his wild growth. But if anything, Musan King is going to be a nuisance here. And look at Schwan. He wants to go right for Xiong. Maybe potentially bait him out. But now with that Sea of Fate, Musan King is on out. They've already taken the Tyrants.
Yep, the save coming in from Musan King actually pulls him back to the base, so the timing is a little bit off. Nova get that first one. Oh, maybe.
Muchi. Oh, the flash away. They were stacking everything. They would definitely have been able to burst him if they got that stun.
Yep, they're trying to make it fast clear for the lane as well, but Nova already knows what's going on. Sends Waypit, a 3-man trio down as Zhihong looks to set a little bit of pressure, TP home as well.
Yeah, so this is the big piece about Nova. Not only does Wendy need that farm, but Muchi is as well. They've prioritized as much as possible because Muchi will get them over that hump.
Yeah, but still, they're trailing in gold, and the gold difference between Muchi and TP, not the biggest, but it is something that is to be concerned about.
Are they trying
Trời may Max Van ghép ban tay tăng là bạn bắt là.
HSBE has literally been shutting all the doors and has made Nova's lives so difficult this series.
The one thing that will kind of poke out in terms of like situation change, the winds of change probably, will be this fascinating matchup. Yu actually has a 500
HBE display cho cả trái.
against Shren.
Cho bờ thêm dây ca chẳng tăng đào đồng Black xuống đây aggressive quá tăng đào mà.
Schwan, I mean, you have that mobility.
Thêm nó challenge slow để thêm nó.
Will be a problem, especially for like the Wendy's and the Muchis of the squad because they can get on and he has that damage and he's able to just jump.
Chạy
on top.
flash mùi.
Shren doesn't have flash anymore. He can use that little cartwheel to get away. So HBSE finds success in that first engagement here. No kills, but they get.
Ấy cho bà mà style lên bao Black Shrew lỡ cứ việc lệnh Tyrant team mùi vô mà.
Shake things up in terms of that overload.
Tyrant team mùi việc cứ việc leo sao khoa mà này. Cứ việc do Tyrant team mùi nó trade mùi lôi vô mà.
HSBSE with another good move.
Yep, and also the way that they clear the jungle. Right now, Nova has nothing to take away except the fire peak, which is not going to be too much value. They want the T1.
Yeah, they want this.
Black Shrew lên cứ anh lên do Tyrant team mùi vậy. Tới do cho mùi năng objective sen hay cho mùi năng Tyrant do Tyrant TP vậy.
I don't know if they really hard commit on this defense.
It's all about pulling attention again, right? Take a look at what Gree's doing. He's clearing the waves. He's going to get some free damage on the T2 on the top as well. And Shren will make it in time, thankfully, but is it going to be enough?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit of chip damage. Guyu would just walk away. There's really no catch. But wait, at the last second, that was so close. Waypit will survive.
I mean, this means they have a little bit more.
Hello,
space to operate with.
hello.
On the side of Homeboys, Black True Esports. Potential steals coming from Zhihong as well. He will be safe. The portal is available for the Sea of Fate.
That's so annoying to deal with, right? I mean, if he's able to time those portals to get himself out, he just attracts so much attention. Everybody's looking to just shut him down, and then he gets on out of there. Again, you're just like grasping at straws at this point.
But you're talking about timing, right?
Yeah.
Take a look at the timer. 7 minutes in, already 1.5 thousand
Oh.
of Homeboys.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's totally
Oh.
and no, they
Tích objective trời má ơi macro chanh nhờ ní Nova macro chanh đi vô mọn chanh Black Shrew rồi. Oh my god, first blood. Trời má chỗ chả nô tiết. Oh GG. Nah, it's gonna be buôn soul, man. It's gonna be buôn soul. Let's go.
is in a prime position to win the 1v1 against Muji at this stage of the game. 7 minutes and 40 seconds.
Oh. Oh shit. Oh, let's go.
That's going to be ace at 8 minutes in the game. A quarter
No, tích rồi objective nó khăn lửa nó khăn khổm.
5,000 gold in advantage. The Homeboys, Black True Esports, and Team
Trời
are
tích
looking right on the menu here.
Looking juicy at this point. I mean, the
Oh
Dream
my.
Roll finding Waypit yet again, and this pressure, the minion wave is there.
Rồi mà vô thấu nó khăn lửa ban môi tiết. No way bro, that's crazy. Oh my god.
That's the time you were looking for. The stuns come in. They do get Musan King for a little bit, but once again, the Sea of Fate changes the destiny of the side of Musan King. He will get away for free.
HBSE playing this one perfectly. They have a 5-kill differential, but it's about the net worth.
Damn.
6K up. Nova Esports really.
Nah, it's gonna be buôn soul, man. It's gonna be buôn soul.
And the series.
No way.
Victim here. Nice drop down.
Bà sân giọt buôn soul tới game này cứ cái oi chanh vô mà này.
Reinforcements are on the way, and
No way
Nova
they
come at me,
no
bro.
way à bot này.
Nova gotta recognize that they can't overchase. If they overchase, maybe they open a door towards the top side. And with that, Musang King also gets that take on a 9-minute Tyrant. Not the most dangerous, but still a Tyrant with a power fighting buff here.
Oh, taken away, pushed back completely. Je is so annoying as well with these cannon blasts. I mean, the vision game is for real. They've taken the mid T2 and HBSC, putting the pressure on extremely early in this game. Nice dream roam and finds way pit, but it looks like
họ chọn cô đã cột all day.
I mean, he's been shooting me as well. So right now, Nova, this is a very tense situation, right? They're balancing, dancing on knife's edge. One mistake, this game's over.
Yeah, this is looking to be very rough. The umbrella.
That all is too early, man.
Plus, you pushed him back, and now Guyu with that hound on forward. Nova Esports reeling, have to defend. They go back to the fountain just to heal up.
Yep, and to add on to the problems, in about 10
Trời mà chẳng phải at all à.
of the objectives will spawn Tyrant as well as the Shadow Overlord. This could be a double take from the side of Homeboys Black to Esports, and Nova will have no answers. Muji is nowhere near where he needs to be. He's only halfway there, 6,000 gold in his bank.
Oh, this is rough. Very, very rough. Top lane is pushing as well, so that's where Nova Esports have been funneled extreme.
Rồi đập ball objective ấy thôi. Chị ơi, 4-6 này, come on.
Such a huge lead. They can take everything and at the same time.
Right now, Wendy, it looks like they have taken it. It's going to be a double take on the neutral objectives. Homeboys, BSE. This is looking like their game, their home, and KIC 2025 might be within their grasp.
Definitely within their grasp. I mean, this is a team that was KC 2024 champions. Yes, they had retooled, but the way that they position themselves, they've hit their stride, understanding that KIC 2025 is where they want to go. They are the returning champions, and then, of course, they are looking to defend the throne.
Aiชนะ no way bro, no way. Goal lead 8k goal. Tyrant bro, Shadow Overlord. Shadow Tyrant. Out chane, out you cannot.
That's fine too. But HBSC on this one, the slow siege is real, and now way pit up front. Now the heaven and earth mode. Guyu with that zone, the umbrella outburst is pushing them away. But CY taking a decent amount, and Guyu, like a god he is, just walking in the base. They take the bottom T3.
They can't even handle him. He did not take too much damage. In fact, it felt like he didn't take anything at all.
Yeah,
nice flash.
Yeah, nice little flash. They're trying to make the play, but Chuan going for their heroic.
Nah, bro, that's it, bro.
They find way pit, and HBSC pushing them back. They're into the fountain. The Sea of Fate is going to be on back for this one. And now it looks like Jihong still up in front with those severing surges. They take the mid T3. They will continue on with the pressure. But now with the
Nice, we won soul, bro. That's crazy.
They find CY as well.
One soul. Oh.
The crystals, and they will be your KIC 2025.
My God, not even sweat, bro.
Homeboys Black Shrew Esports KIC 2025 is now their walking ground. Homeboys Black Shrew Esports fought through a
Mà lấy áp thằng Man tí ơi.
Clawing their way out of Failur's shadow and into the spotlight, fueled by the unforgettable year of BSC in 2024 and United.
Trời ơi.
The rise.
Sao vậy thế anh lấy áp miền Prang Man tí? Oh my God.
Manila witnesses.
It's too easy for them, man.
Your Honor of Kings International Championship 2025 champions, Homeboys Black Shrew Esports.
All right, now it is their time.
Hãy đặt từ xa sân. Lên.
Want their manager there as well. And there we go. That is a winning moment.
MVP ở đâu ấy, đắng ấy, toàn đắng ấy, đỏ kia nè rồi.
Representing the MKL, the #1 team, and they're going to continue on. They are your KIC 2025 champion.
The dream that they built
Man, this
back
team
in
is very strong, bro.
And then coming into 2025, it was never looking
Yeah.
good. Standing in front of you are the champions with a
FMVP lỏng, no, ra từng lý lỏng hơn FMVP lỏng đam na đúng.
Brethren coming in from MKL, but now it is time to interview them, the victors.
Congratulations to Homeboys Black Shrew Esports. Musang King, congratulations. But you know what? Let's go to Guyu. Oh my goodness, we're so proud of you.
Chẳng vậy ra player gì tâm player thâm mây chơi mà từ chó à lại lực tiền điện.
Spectacular win.
Very
thanks to my teammate. Even though before final I played some more mistake, but they still carry me until final. I love my teammate.
And we love you.
Trời ra player kia thay mày đã cho một cái lực piên rồi.
You won the HOK Championship 2024 and now KIC 2025. What makes this year so special? And your team, you guys are so strong.
I think first of all, very thank you to my teammates. They play very good today. We trust each other. We have a very good teamwork. Second, thank you to all the fans who come to here. Whether you guys are support us or not, but you guys are the part
Whether you
of
support us or not.
Thank you.
Now, Musang King, do you have any message to all of the HOK fans and for the players dreaming to be one like you, a pro player in the future?
This is my second time to take Finnish champion, and next year we will wait for you to challenge us.
You proved that you are the strongest of them all. Malaysia is definitely proud of you. And now it's time to announce the finals MVP. Any guesses who it is? Guiyu, others. The finals MVP is the player that made significant contributions to their team to get them the trophy. And our
Trời
finals
mà.
MVP
Guiyu.
Guiyu. Congratulations.
Player thay mày ban MVP đi. Chả là bán skin ở Clash Land này nha.
To present the token for the finals MVP.
I trust this is the moment very important in my life. In this moment, I want thanks to my parents because I just 17 years old. My parents very support me to esports career. If they not support me, I think I still studying, but my life no,
Still studying.
And for the reward, for my teammate carry me to the finals, I give them champion for the rewards.
Congratulations, Guiyu, and once again, to present your award, Mr. Dean Huang. Okay, let's take
មកគេ7 10ឆ្នាំហើយ
Everybody, let's give our finals MVP a big round of applause. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you so much. You may now take your seat. Congratulations, Guiyu. A very deserving title. Is there anything that you want to say to your supporters and family?
I mean, he already said it many times, man.
I will be more stronger in next year. This year, I already finished all my tournament. See you in next year. Bye-bye.
Yeah. See you in bye-bye.
Once again, it's time to claim what's rightfully yours. Everybody surround your trophy for another trophy lift. We have crowned our champions for the year. We have a lot more international tournaments that would happen in the next year. But now, Homeboys of Black True Esports will be the summit that every team will look up to. Congratulations to Homeboys Black True Esports! They showed the strength of Malaysia, and they are now your Honor of Kings International Championship 2025 champions. Thank you, everybody. Our team has overcome every challenge. This has been a very spectacular tournament. Thank you to all the fans, all the supporters, and we'll see you in the next international tournament of Honor of Kings. Thank you, everybody, and have a great night.
No, អត់ឈ្នះទេ HBSE ខ្លាហើយយ៉ា They too strong bro, they too strong bro. Ok. Ta like này chắp nhưng mà họ bật sân nhưng bật like này chào mà tăng sân nói ra đi like quay mơ cái lên mong 8 ជាង 9 បានខ្ញុំ like ថ្ងៃនេះមានគ្នាយើងគាត់លេង scrim ថ្ងៃនេះគាត់មានគ្នាយើងលេង scrim ហើយក៏ថ្ងៃនេះខ្ញុំចូល spectate ពួកគាត់លេងដោយសារពួកគាត់ចង់ឲ្យចូលដាក់ like ចូលទៅពួកគាត់មើលពេលក្រោយអញ្ចឹងណាអញ្ចឹងថ្ងៃនេះមាន scrim ធីមទីតុយលេងមួយធីម Red End Club ធីមទីតុយលេងមួយធីមសមោចអញ្ចឹងចាំមើលងាកនឹងយើងមាន skim ចាំយើងមកលេងងាកនឹងតមក live ងាកនឹងតតែឥឡូវខ្ញុំបិទអានេះចោលសិនដោយសារនេះ live KIC ទេអញ្ចឹងចាំជួបគ្នាម៉ោង 8 ជាង 9 ប្រហែលជា 8 ជាង 9 ឬក៏ 8 ជាង 9 មកសន្ទុះទៀតយ៉ាងច្រើនកន្លះម៉ោងអីកន្លះម៉ោង 40 នាទីជាងទៀតឃើញមកវិញចាឥឡូវខ្ញុំបិទ live នេះសិនហើយចាំទៀតខ្ញុំយកមកជួបគ្នាវិញទៀតជួបយប់ហ្នឹងមានអង្គុយមើលគេលេង skim ម្ដងបាយចាំទៀត